By Hertz, where the winners rent. By Chrysler Corporation. See the mileage makers at your Dodge or Chrysler Plymouth dealers. And by Radio Shack, the nationwide supermarket of sound.
Welcome to St. Louis, Missouri. Bush Memorial Stadium. Dick Enberg with Merlin Olsen. The Cardinals 1-1, lost by only 1 point to the Dallas Cowboys against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Kickoff. Little of the Cardinals sends it deep down the middle to Larry Anderson of Pittsburgh. Anderson out to the 10, 15, 20, 25, and toppled hard at the 28-yard line. Good block by Anthony Anderson, and Ken Green, number 37, made the hit for St. Louis. The Cardinals defense on the field will face this offensive set for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Terry Bradshaw. Interestingly, Bradshaw and Hart, neither one in the top 10 in the NFL passing thus far. Sidney Thornton, 4 touchdowns, 2 games, and the incomparable Franco Harris behind Bradshaw. Bradshaw sends his wide receivers, Stallworth and Swan, both to the left side. Tight end Randy Grossman is on the right side. First play from Pittsburgh 28, Thornton in motion. Franco gets 2, gets 4, fumble, and I believe the Cardinals have the football at the 31-yard line. This sellout crowd in St. Louis sees 57, Mark Arneson, who recovered a fumble and took it for a touchdown last week against the Giants, come up with a loose ball.
Franco Harris, certainly one of the steadiest runners in the league when it comes to controlling the ball, but was just mashed unmercifully by the Cardinals there. They put the helmet right on the ball. It popped clean, and they've got a big break right away. Let's see if they can capitalize on it, Dick.
Veteran quarterback Jim Hart in his 14th year has the ball at the Pittsburgh 32. That's Gary Parris, tight end, moving to the right side. And Hart trying to throw on first down. Complete at the 25. Down immediately goes number 32, Otis Anderson, the sensational 22-year-old rookie from Miami of Florida. Brown, the Otis Brown, the second pick of these Cardinals out of UCLA, and Otis Anderson, the first running back selected in the draft last spring, are the running backs behind Hart. His wide receivers, Mel Gray, a deep threat, Gary Parris and Al Chandler, 2 tight ends, one playing wide receiver. Actually, Pat Tilley is in now at wide receiver to the left. 2nd and 3, and Anderson gets only a yard or 2 up the middle. Anderson, nearly 200 yards against the Cowboys, over 100 yards last week against the Giants. He and William Andrews of the Atlanta Falcons trying to do something that no rookie has ever done, and that is rush 3 consecutive 100-yard games in their first 3 NFL games. And there's the line for St. Louis.
They've had to do some shuffling with the loss of their great All-Pro Dan Deerdorf. They've got Joe Bostic, number 71, in there, but they're glad to welcome Tom Banks back to the lineup. He's been out for a number of weeks with a deep thigh bruise. Other than that, the lineup stays the same.
We'll keep our eye on 71 Bostic trying to fill some mighty big shoes. All-Pro Deerdorf out for the year. The Otis Brown on the draw has a first down at the 20-yard line. It was Terry Steve, 68, and Joe Bostic, 71, who gave him a little daylight.
In the first couple of weeks of the season, it's been the Pittsburgh defense that's been the shining unit for Pittsburgh, and a couple of youngsters in there, Tom Beasley and Gary Dunn, in place of L.C. Greenwood and Steve Furness, who are both in Pittsburgh, did not even make the trip with knee injuries.
Beasley, replacing Greenwood last week, had 11 unassisted tackles, a record for a Steeler defensive lineman, so the caliber doesn't drop off much. On first down, Anderson almost away. A touchdown-saving tackle by Donnie Shell, number 31. It appeared that Anderson was on his way for 6.
One of the things we were told to watch for is the ability of Anderson to cut laterally. Watch this as he follows the lead block into the hole, sees daylight to the outside, and without losing stride, accelerates just quickly. And if Shell hadn't been a pull right of his ankle, he would have been outside and had big yardage on that one.
2nd and 5 at the 15-yard line. Tilley and Gray to the left. Hard to throw. In trouble, and down he goes in the grasp of 76, John Banaszak, at the 32-yard line. Make that the 27-yard line. The first sack for the Steelers, who have 10 in the first 2 games this year. Great line backing. Ham, Lambert, and Cole, and of course the backups Winston and Valentine and Taves are tough as well. Deep backs, Ron Johnson, Mel Blunt, they'll come up and challenge you on the line of scrimmage. It's tough for the receivers to get out. And Shell and Wagner, 2 excellent safeties. Wagner with 2 interceptions last week against Houston. On the sack, it's now 3rd and 15. Dave Steve in motion. And Hart needing 15 for a first down. No flag. Shell right on Steve, and some of the fans across the way felt that he bumped him early.
Pittsburgh Steelers play a very aggressive and physical style of defense, not just on the line of scrimmage, but in the secondary as well. But they're also smart football players. They know what the rules are, and they know how to take advantage of them, to a sense that a good athlete does take advantage of the rules. They know that it's their entitled position defensively, and by gosh, they'll take it out there.
Mike Wood, second-year kicker from Southeast Missouri State, out of Roger Worley's hold, and Charlie Davis, number 76, late getting in to block. That was the spot what Deerdorf occupied before he was hurt. This is a 47-yard attempt. No good to the left, and Wood opens this year 0 for 5. It was a 43-yard try by Wood, and he's looking for his first field goal of this new season. Cardinals unable to take advantage of the fumble recovery. No score early, first quarter.
All the people who make the sidelines are part of the show.
This bud's for you. For all you do, the king of beers is coming through.
Yeah, just for you, that distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
For all you do.
This Bud's for you.
Here on NBC, Dick Enberg with Merlin Olsen. I have a feeling we're to see a fine game today.
I just, on paper, it's certainly a bit of a one-sided match because Pittsburgh has played so well. But the Cardinals are a much improved football team, and it looks like they're ready to play today.
Cardinals, however, unable to take advantage of the fumble recovery on the Steelers' first play. There goes Sidney Thornton. He caught the Cardinals in a blitz, and it's Thornton all the way out to the 42-yard line and a first down.
Last week, Terry Bradshaw used his count masterfully to take advantage of Houston, and he did it again there, forcing the linebacker to commit himself on the blitz too early. He was out of body position, unable to control that gap, and Sidney Thornton pops in behind to make fine yardage.
17-yard gain for Thornton, and the Steelers have their first down. Initial first down of the game. Bradshaw, Stallworth left, and Swan right. Thornton again, and a flag is down as Thornton is out near midfield.
Now, I'm afraid
Let's check other scores, Merlin, as we see the holding call against Pittsburgh. They're in overtime. The Broncos and the Falcons tied at 17. Final, and the Jets have their first win of the season, 31-10 over the Detroit Lions. Final, New England, and we understand that Cincinnati quarterback Ken Anderson left the game with an injury. Patriots struggled to a 2014 win. They're 2-1.
Holding, number 52, offense, first down.
Mike Webster whistled for the hold. Jerry Markbright, the referee. You saw that other final, Philadelphia beating New Orleans.
Webster, of course, going head-to-head with Charlie Davis, who was drafted and played for a year with the Steelers.
Cleveland leading late in the game, 13-10 against Baltimore. Brown's trying to be a 3-0 beginner. Bradshaw's pass right at the shoelaces of Thornton, incomplete. And after the holding penalty, it's second down and 20. Minnesota and Miami, and the Vikings' tough defense holding the unbeaten Dolphins to a touchdown, and they lead. Minnesota leads on their home field by 5 in the fourth quarter. Tampa Bay and Green Bay, the battle of the NFL Bays, and Tampa has 21 and Green has 3. Houston trying to rebound from that tough loss at Pittsburgh last Sunday ahead of Kansas City before halftime. Second and 20 call. It's Harris. He gets out to the 36, maybe the 37. Steve Neal, number 53, and Tim Carney, 56. 2 of the linebackers, and that 3-4 defense made the stop.
We didn't have a chance to introduce you to the Pittsburgh offensive line. John Cove, Steve Corson playing in favor of Sam Davis, the captain, who is Got about another week on the injured list. Webster, you saw holding a minute ago. Not the kind of publicity he wants, and the other two on the left side is normal. Although Larry Brown is starting today, back from an injury that's kept him out for a long time.
Whoops. Premature movement by number 77 in that offensive line, Steve Corson, and the Cardinals react and get the 5-yard penalty.
Two mistakes here early, and we're not used to seeing that from this veteran team. Bob Pollard, Charlie Davis, and Mike Dawson, the 3-man defensive line.
Third down.
And Steve Niels, Tim Carney, Eric Williams inside, and Mark Arneson. Arneson, of course, a hero last week as he picked up a fumble and ambled into the end zone, put 7 points on the board. I think it was a birthday present.
That's right. He was 30 years old. Good way to celebrate. Bradshaw on 3rd down 20. Deep down the middle, almost intercepted by number 27, Carl Allen. And Bradshaw fortunately had that ball too high, or that would have been a turnover.
Bradshaw always hangs that kind of pass high, knowing that his receivers, Swan and Stallworth, will go up after it. And it's very difficult to go up there with them. They have such great leaping ability. And we've seen Terry throw too many of those passes to feel that it's an accident. He puts it up there on purpose.
Good point, Merlin. And there's a case where he figures if anyone's going to get up to catch it, it'll be Stallworth or Swan. Craig Colquitt, averaging 40 a kick, angles it to the sidelines and out of bounds. Going to be a fairly short kick. Let's see where they mark it as the official comes up to about the 30-yard line. Yes, St. Louis will put it in play. Bud Wilkinson's Cardinals have it again. First down at the Bird 30-yard line. 9:52 remaining first quarter. No score. No score. The Cardinals and the Steelers. You see the black armbands worn by the St. Louis players in memory of J.B. Keane, the tight end who died during the summer training period, and the announcement just this week that it was an incredibly rare congenital heart condition that proved to be fatal for Kane. Ball at the 30-yard line. And good power up the middle goes Otis Anderson for 4 yards, and he carried about 3 Steelers with him.
We got some more scores coming in, Dick.
Big score. Miami has just gone ahead on a Don Strock to Larry Zonka. 6-yard pass with the extra point block, so something's wrong with Greasy. Yes, he injured his leg early in the second half. But Miami now leads by 1. Seattle draws the first score in the Kingdome against the Oakland Raiders. Gary Parrish, the tight end, out of the full house backfield, moves to the right side. Theotis Brown slams out close to a first down at the 40-yard line. These two young rookies, Otis and Theotis, show some power. Denver beats Atlanta 20-17 in overtime. So the Broncos are now 2-1. It's a first down for the St. Louis Cardinals.
We certainly have our sights on Otis Anderson, but we don't want to overlook Theotis. Certainly we had a chance to see him do a lot of great running as a collegiate, and with the power and speed that he has in combination, that could be a most impressive backfield.
Again, Paris shifts to the right side. Gray right and Tilley left. Hart. He's got a man open. Mel Gray. 35, 30, 25, 20. Out of bounds at the 13-yard line. Mel Gray, written down by Donnie Shell.
We didn't expect to see number 85, Mel Gray, in the game today. He's been nursing a hamstring pull and was questionable right up till game time. But you can see right there the reason that Jim Hart and Bud Wilkinson want Mel Gray in the lineup. He gets deep and he gets open, and Hart has it right on the money. Gray in front of the defenders shows you what he can do with that when he gets the ball down in their territory too. Away from Wagner, finally run out of bounds by Donnie Shell and Ron Johnson. But that's a big, big play.
And that's a 78-game streak in which Gray has caught at least one pass, a 43-yard gain, first down St. Louis. Ball at the 13. Hart's going to throw. Anderson incomplete. That would have been an interesting confrontation. 58 Jack Lambert from his middle linebacking position coming over to cover Anderson. Oh, that might have been delightful collision for the football aficionados down at that end of the field.
Hart was reacting quickly to the blitz by Ham as both the linebackers from the outside coming hard. He dumped it off quickly but was forced to throw it so quickly that he did not have it on target.
The Bears take the early lead against the Dallas Cowboys 7-0. That's at Dallas. And San Francisco has taken a 7-0 lead against the Los Angeles Rams in the first quarter. Hart on 2nd and 10 from the Steeler 13. Otis Anderson at the 10, 5, touchdown St. Louis. And the love affair between the city of St. Louis and 22-year-old Otis Anderson continues.
Well, I'll tell you, I love him too. What a great run he put on for us right here. Takes the football and looks like a play designed to come inside of the end. Anderson dips inside just a little bit and then just shows that great speed to the outside, and he makes it look easy against a team that does not give up easy touchdowns.
Mike Wood's point after is no good. And Wood, who has missed 5 field goals, has now missed an extra point. And that takes a little of the sweet taste out of the Cardinal touchdown. But they lead. First quarter, 8:19 remaining. It's 6-0 St. Louis. As you look at Bud Wilkinson, Chuck Noll, a couple other coaches, Don Shula's Dolphins, bettering Bud Grant's Vikings 13-12, and Miami had to come from behind to make it 3-0. They haven't lost yet this year. Long kick by Little. He really rooted that one out, and Anderson will squat on it and take the touchback. Let's go back and make a correction. Bud Wilkinson changed his place kickers for that extra point, and it was Steve Little, not Mike Wood, who missed the extra point. And it's making Mr. Wilkinson's hair even grayer. The problem with the place kicking. Wood has not been successful on the field goals, and Little's had his troubles too.
Wilkinson has an unusual situation. He has 2 kickers, both of which are capable of punting and place kicking. A most unique situation.
Of course, Jim Bakken, the veteran, the #2 scorer all time in NFL history, released after last year. Franco Harris gets it to the 25, maybe the 26-yard line before Eric Red Williams from the University of Southern California and Bob Pollard can collaborate on the stop.
We don't get a chance to go in and look at the men in the pits as often as we'd like, but one of the reasons that that play was successful was because of the fine blocking by number 52, Mike Webster. Webster, as we said, is working on number 76, Charlie Davis. Did an excellent job of pinning him, holding him to the inside.
So an injury timeout, a fallen Cardinal in the secondary. We'll check that when we return. 6-0 St. Louis. As you see, Dallas has tied Chicago in the first quarter. The injured Cardinal was Carl Allen. He's been replaced by Perry Smith, number 45 in the secondary for St. Louis. Allen left under his own power, appeared to be okay. 2nd and 4, ball at the Steeler 26. Sidney Thornton outside. Good speed and a first down, but a flag is down where Jerry Mullins was blocking Ken Green, and it appears to be holding against Pittsburgh.
That's a shame. It had developed as a beautiful play. On the inside, we had looked earlier at the battle between Webster and Charlie Davis, and on that particular play, Webster drove Davis back and dumped him right on his back. Webster, one of the strongest centers in the NFL, and able to do a beautiful job. We'll give you a look at it. Watch now the battle of 2 bulls inside. Webster about 250 and Davis about 275, and that's
number
just
72 offense, 2nd down.
You hear the call against Mullins. That's just superior upper body strength from a center. You don't see many centers do that to find strong middle guards like Charlie Davis.
That's a 3rd Pittsburgh penalty, 25 yards. The Cardinals have not had a yard marched off as yet. 2nd down, 14. Thornton on a draw gets it to the 19-yard line, where it'll be 3rd down and 11. Eric Williams, one of the middle inside linebackers for the Cardinals, made the stop. He wears 55. Let's run down all the finals quickly for the fans. Merlin, 20-17. Denver beat Atlanta in overtime. Jets over Detroit 31-10. Final, New England 20, Cincinnati 14. Philadelphia beat New Orleans 26-14. Cleveland 13, Baltimore 10, a final. And we'll keep you abreast of all the scores in progress as they come into our NFL NBC booth. 3rd and 11. Stallworth left and Swan right. Passing situation. On a blitz, Lee Nelson Anderson, number 38, comes through cleanly and gets Bradshaw.
Cardinals are a team that love to blitz and stunt. They sent one of their extra backs. There were 6 on the field on that particular play, and they sent one of them in where they had no protection for Bradshaw. Bradshaw, of course, could not see him as he was coming from the blind side. They got instant pressure and got a sack, and now Colquitt will be kicking out of his own end zone.
Colquitt averaging 40 yards a punt. Line drive. This could be returned. Number 39, Willard Harrell, on his birthday, covered well by the Steelers at the 40-yard line. So Harrell and St. Louis will put it in play with a 6-0 lead at their own 40. A reminder, folks, tonight at 8 o'clock here on NBC, Bob Hope on the road to China. Taped entirely in the People's Republic of China. 3 hours, features Crystal Gale, Shields, and Yarnell. And Merlin Olsen's favorite, the Big Bird.
And I love watching Bob Hope and whatever he does. What a marvelous entertainer. And I tell you, his schedule would kill us off, Dick. He keeps going and going and going.
He really is a legend in his own time. 6:24 remains in the first quarter. The Steelers trailing the Cardinals 6-0. And St. Louis has the ball at the 40. Anderson, good block on the corner. And he's out of bounds at the St. Louis bench at the 49 after he picks up nearly 9 more, but a flag is down.
Theodis Brown very angry about something. There it is.
Holding against St. Louis, so the Cardinals have their first penalty. Boy, that Anderson, he gets you to recognize his power off tackle. You make one false step, and the way he zipped around that corner, he left everyone in as if their shoes were nailed to the carpet, Merlin.
The thing that's interesting to me is watching him run. He has a kind of a shuffling gait. It never looks like his feet are that far off the turf, which gives him a great advantage because he can cut so quickly. But it almost looked like he was hovering as he went outside. Let's listen.
Holding, number 71, offense, first down.
Joe Bostic, the rookie at right tackle, with the hold. Anderson wears number 32, and his name is Otis Jerome, so they call him OJ and Scooter, among many nicknames. And I said 32 because of O.J. Simpson. He said, no, I wanted 40. I said 40. He says, hey, my man is Gale Sayers, number 40. And what a great one he was with the Bears. Of course, now the athletic director where Jim Hart went to school, Southern Illinois. Anderson greeted by 76 John Banaszak, who slammed in from his right tackle position. So Banaszak logs one of the rare deficits on Anderson's report card.
From the end zone, you get a chance to see this hole close as Banaszak slides inside the block and just takes a dead zero on number 32, Otis Anderson, and puts him down. Banaszak has really come into his own as a defensive lineman, starting in place of Dwight White. They split a lot of time last year, but Dwight's been hurt. It's going to be tough for him to get his job back the way Banaszak is playing.
It's a big loss for St. Louis, now facing second down at about 24. Hart going long for Gray. Too far at the 40 of Pittsburgh with Wagner and Johnson, 23 and 29, covering Speedy Mel Gray.
Dick, you talked about the defensive coverage and the ability of this defense to cover passes. Gray has punctured them once for a long one today, and they're going to have no part of it. You see the double coverage on Gray as he gets downfield. 2 people right there making it impossible. I think Hart wisely threw that one over the top and threw it away.
3rd and 24. The ball at the St. Louis 27, and J.T. Thomas, number 24, comes in as the 5th Pittsburgh defensive back.
We're seeing more and more situation defenses. Pittsburgh utilizing 5 backs. Of course, the Cardinals with 6 defensive backs.
And the Cardinals come in with 3 wide receivers. Dave Steve being the 3rd. Steve in motion. Hart in trouble. And he finds Tilley on the sidelines. Not good enough for the first down. Complete at the 44. And the Cardinal punting team comes in. Pat Tilley, what a story. He's only 5'10", 171 pounds. He caught 62 last year.
Early last season, when we had a chance to do a Cardinal game, he was a question mark. They said he's not very big, but he runs such great disciplined pass routes. And Bud Wilkinson said, if all my players had the heart and the discipline of Pat Tilley, we'd whip everybody in the NFL.
We've gone from a 13-12 final to Miami leading by a bigger margin, and other scores as they come in. 20-12 now, Dolphins. Little to punt. It's a beauty.
Big kick.
Jim Smith, he doesn't fair catch them at the 12. Hemmed in and hauled down at the 8-yard line. Smith, who has never called for a fair catch in the NFL, and he is tackled by Eric Williams, 55 of the St. Louis Cardinals. Also downfield for St. Louis, number 25, Roy Green.
Pittsburgh has been accused of being a kind of a mechanical football team in games that are not big games, and they are lucky enough and strong enough to get away with it. They certainly have bumped up against an aroused St. Louis team today, and Pittsburgh better be careful. They're liable to go home with a few lumps on their head.
4:40 left in the first quarter. 6-0 St. Louis. Bradshaw screens it to Stallworth. Fumble, and the Cardinals have the football. Covered by number 56, Tim Carney, but it was John Zook, 63, who made the hit.
They say that Carney, number 56, is a wild man, but he certainly was all over the field on that one. Read the play beautifully and did what you have to do defensively. Shook the ball right loose from a receiver who's usually pretty sure-handed. The play is open. Stallworth has it. There's room downfield. Now watch Carney coming inside out. You see Zook right there. He gets a piece of him. Bang. The ball pops loose. And there's Carney, number 56, laying right on top of it. That's great reaction for number 63, Zook, as he steamed outside to get a hold of it.
Cardinals first down at the 18-yard line. They lead 6-0, and a penalty flag as Otis Brown all the way to the 8-yard line. But it appeared someone on the left side of the Cardinal line jumped the count. No, it's against Pittsburgh. Jack Lambert apparently moved into that neutral zone as San Diego leads Buffalo out on the West Coast 7-6 in the first quarter.
One of the challenges that Jim Hart and his offensive team face today is working with Joe Bostic. We mentioned the fact that he has taken Deerdorf's place out there.
Offside, number 75, defense, declined, second down.
Joe Green was offside, but the run by Brown to the 9-yard line is the play the Cardinals want. They'll take second and a yard and a half rather than 1st and 5.
I can't blame them for that. Puts them down inside the 10-yard line. They need that first down. If they get it, they'll be close to the 5. That's a good way to attack that end zone.
Gary Ferris, tight end again, shifts right. Whoa! Brown and a fumble, and who's got it? St. Louis somehow managed to fall in that football when two black shirts were right there to pounce on it. Jack Ham came through cleanly, but the fumble was created when another offside against Pittsburgh. So a break for the Cardinals. That'll carry a first down. But the fumble occurred when Brown and Hart ran into each other on the exchange. Here it is.
Watch the mistake right here. It looked like Brown just in the wrong hole. A quarterback like Hart doesn't make that kind of mistake very often. So the ball bounced free, touched by Ham there, but the penalty is going to nullify the fumble.
Defense, first down.
Jack Ham was offside. Apparently he was coming in on that blitz and jumped the count. First and goal for Bud Wilkinson's Cardinals inside the Pittsburgh 5.
Now they failed to capitalize on the first fumble they picked up in Steeler territory. If they don't get something out of this one, it would put them in a real disadvantage.
Meantime, Chuck Noll staring at a possible 13-0 deficit. Brown gets a couple straight ahead behind the wedge blocking of Banks, the center, Young, and Steve, the guards. A score, fourth quarter, Tampa Bay leads Green Bay 21-10. The Packers scoring with 8 minutes left. David Whitehurst to James Lofton, a 12-yard pass.
Wayne Morris has been playing a great deal more than Theodis Brown. Theodis has been injured through much of training camp, and they haven't had a chance to work him as much as they wanted to. It looks like they've made some decisions. They've got him out there, and this backfield has really proved to be an effective combination for the Cardinals. But there's bound to be some confusion. You see it right there. When you get people who have not worked that much together, Brown has not been in that backfield that much with Anderson and Hart. You see right there that Hart has to call a timeout rather than take the penalty for taking too much time.
It wasn't just Anderson and Brown. Another new member of the Cardinal backfield, your former teammate with the Rams, Rod Phillips, had just come in a power T formation, and Hart just didn't have the right people in the right spot.
Well, we're talking about that backfield. It's perhaps interesting that you see the tight end in that backfield very often for the Cardinals. Wilkinson likes to do that to try and confuse the defense. He'll shift him right, shift him left, may put him in motion, may use a running play with the tight end as a blocker. Gives him some flexibility.
So Hart, his backup quarterback Steve Pisarkowitz. Bud Wilkinson talk it over. It'll be 2nd and goal at the 3-yard line. Just about, well, 10 to 15 games left in this 1979 baseball year, and 3 tremendous pennant races. Pittsburgh involved in the National League East will be at Chicago's Wrigley Field next Saturday on our NBC telecast. The Minnesota Twins still alive, and the American League West will be at County Stadium, Milwaukee. We hope you'll join us with Sports World following our baseball action next Saturday afternoon. Number 12, Steve Little, thinking about his role either for the extra point or a field goal try. It's 2nd and goal at the 3. Cardinals 6, Steelers nothing. St. Louis has pounced on 2 Pittsburgh fumbles in the Steelers half of the field here in the first quarter. From the 3. It's Anderson outside, and he loses 2. Did a good job just to gain from what would have been about a 5-yard loss. Dennis Winston, 53. Mike Wagner, 23, up to make the hit. So it'll be 3rd and goal from the 5. And oh, how does that change the play call?
Well, it forces a lot of pressure on the offense. The play, by the way, designed to go around the left end. Banaszak got tremendous pressure and penetration, and actually I thought Anderson did a great job not to go down well behind the line of scrimmage. Kept his feet and did lose a little bit of yardage, but could easily have been knocked down by the penetration of Banaszak.
3rd and goal at the 5. Hart. Anderson almost caught that football on the goal line as Hart floated it out there, and Anderson very nearly with a diving catch right on the goal line, covered by Jack Ham, and Hart throwing out of tremendous pressure.
A little play action pass didn't fool anybody as the Steelers were coming with the blitz. They had instant pressure on Hart, and boy, that's a dangerous pass. There are a lot of black shirts out there, and they got about as much shot at that one as Anderson did. Luckily, it wasn't intercepted. They got a chance to go for the 3 points.
Little to try. Up, and it's good. That's the first field goal of the year for the Cardinals, and of course the fans give quite a cheer. Steve Little, 22-yard field goal, and with 2:50 remaining in the first quarter, St. Louis boosts its lead to 9-0.
Little was turned upside down on that last play and got up looking at the official. You got a smile there from him. The official came over and said, "Look, it's good. What more do you want?" And of course, Little was happy about that. Watch him here. Finishes the kick, and someone goes underneath. I don't think they really tapped him. Those kickers become great ballerinas and great actors. He was doing a little of his acting there.
So the Cardinals, after the fumble recovery, Zook dislodging the ball from the grasp of Stallworth, and Arneson falling on it, and Carney falling on it at the 18-yard line. St. Louis unable to get the touchdown. They settled for the 3-pointer from 22 yards out. It's 9-0 Cardinals.
So far, the Cardinals have not only outclassed the Steelers offensively, but their defense has been a major part of their success in the early part of this game.
Larry Anderson fumbles and wisely stays in his own end zone. It'll be first down Pittsburgh at the 20. The Cardinals playing very well defensively, and Pittsburgh shakily here in the first 15 minutes. Bradshaw dumps it out to Harris, incomplete. Franco, had he caught the ball, was headed upfield at full speed. San Diego has a 7-point lead against Buffalo out at San Diego, 13-6 early second quarter.
Tom Bettis, defensive coach for the Cardinals, has torn a page out of Red Miller's playbook. He rotates his defensive linemen, puts in a whole new fresh unit. He's got Zook and Simons and Jankowski in there now, and feels that having fresh defensive linemen in there can put some pressure on the offensive line and certainly give them a better chance to rush the passer.
2nd and 10. Bradshaw hit by Zook. Gets away. And now upfield, incomplete for Cunningham, number 89. And a flag goes down, and I believe that's going to be against St. Louis.
It's a late hit by Carney. Carney over there, and receiver out of bounds. Benny Cunningham out of bounds. No reason to hit him. Carney unloaded on him, and the official immediately threw the flag down. The roughness, there you see the call. They'll be marching off 15 yards, and that's the kind of play that really hurts you. Bradshaw gets away from what appears to be a sure sack here. Zook has him, and it's just some good athletic ability on the part of the quarterback, and that's the kind of thing he does. Turns the big play into a big loss into a big play. Cunningham, watch it right there. There's no reason to unload on a guy like that. Carney just a little bit carried away.
Number 56, defense, late hit out of bounds, 1st down.
Well, his momentum going and his head down. It didn't appear to be a vicious attempt by Carney, but the official on the spot felt it was unnecessary, and it cost the Cardinals. 1st down at the 35 after the 15-yard walk-off. Bradshaw has Stallworth open. John Stallworth fumbles, and who's got it? At the 42-yard line, Pittsburgh comes up with a loose ball.
We saw Pittsburgh drop the ball a number of times last week against Houston and recover it time after time. They've done it today. They've dropped it 3 times. They've lost the first 2. They were able to pick that one back up. But Bradshaw did a masterful job of reading that zone. His receivers read the zones well, too. Stallworth found the seam. Bradshaw found Stallworth. Big play, but they're lucky to get the fumble back inside of Cardinal 50-yard line for the first time today.
Ball at the 42. It was Stallworth who recovered his own fumble. Bradshaw back to the air, down the middle. 1st down, Cunningham to the 20, and he's all the way to the 17-yard line. Benny Cunningham, 6'5" and 247. He's like trying to tackle a gravel truck.
There are 3 important ingredients in the pass. First, you've got to protect your quarterback. Give him time to throw. Then the quarterback, you see Larry Brown doing an excellent job there. Then you've got to get the pass on target. That one right between 2 defenders. And then I'll tell you, Benny Cunningham makes believers out of him. You can see why they've missed him in the lineup. Looks like they're trying to jump on a rodeo horse there.
Oh, Carl Allen, 27, back in the game, and D take a straight arm. Bradshaw looking for 6. Gets it. Stallworth, touchdown. John Stallworth, his first touchdown of this season.
Number 22, Roger Worley, considered one of the finest corners in all of pro football. But he has got his hands full today with John Stallworth because they're trying to give Allen some help on the other side. That means that you're going to see a lot of Stallworth one-on-one with Worley, and Stallworth is an exceptionally gifted athlete. You see him there finding room. You see the disappointment on number 22, Worley, as he stands next to the sideline there. Well, or not next to the sideline. They're going to rush the extra point, but that hurts. That hurts.
Matt Barr's try for point is good. So with 57 seconds remaining in the first quarter, the Steelers close the gap to 9-7 as Bradshaw hit on 3 consecutive passes to Stallworth, then to Cunningham, then to Stallworth, and just like that, Pittsburgh, in a matter of about 35-40 seconds, has 7 points. For a big one, the late game, all on NBC next Sunday. Barr kicks it away. 15-20 goes Roy Green out to the 35, the 40, and the 41-yard line. The rookie, Green, makes a fine return before J.T. Thomas can make the tackle. Green, picked in the 4th round out of Henderson State. He said, be sure to say hello to the folks in Magnolia, Arkansas. He almost did that with a long return.
Now, the ball was kicked low. One of the problems with Barr is that he does not have a powerful leg, but he usually puts the ball high, and you've got time to get down and cover it. That one was a line driver that hit short, and you see the result.
48 seconds left in the first quarter. 9-7. St. Louis leads it. Hart to Anderson. He's going to throw the ball. Theodis Brown. No, it's intercepted by Sheldon. He drops the ball out of bounds. He had it for a moment and lost lost it going out of bounds.
But they would love to have gotten it and got another quick touchdown on the board.
2nd and 10. Out of the eye, Brown at fullback, Anderson the tailback. Oops, that's going to be a motion penalty against Anderson. He was moving forward at the snap. Ham made the tackle after no gain, and Pittsburgh might well just take the play and bring up 3rd and 10.
One of the most successful cogs in this Pittsburgh defensive machine is number 59, Jack Ham. You see him taking on the block of Paris, the tight end, and just shedding him to the inside, then getting good position, forcing Anderson back inside, and then making the tackle. You're right, Dick. They will refuse a penalty, as you had anticipated. Take the down away from the Cardinals, force them into a 3rd and 10, and of course we see the extra people coming from the sideline. Dirt Winston popping into the lineup, number 53. And we're going to have one defensive lineman. There you see him, Gary Dunn, going off the field. It'll be a 3-man rush, an extra linebacker in the game.
Cardinals use 3 wide receivers, Tilley, Stieff, and Gray. And Stieff in motion. Good protection. And he could not find Mel Gray down at the Pittsburgh 30-yard line. 10 men on the line of scrimmage for the Steelers as Little back to punt. Jim Smith at the Pittsburgh 20. Wobbly kick. Smith can return it. 22, 25, and down at the 30. But the Steelers come out of that with pretty good field position. John Bearfield, the second-year linebacker of Texas A&I. Dr. Doom, he calls himself, made the tackle. But Wilkinson said this young man has improved tremendously from last year when most of his football was done verbally. This year he's come in better shape and he's learned the game. And Bud says he thinks he's going to be really a fine player.
I think this whole Cardinal team has improved, and they've demonstrated some of that today.
Bradshaw to Thornton for 3 to the 33. Eric Williams made the tackle. That could well be the last play of this first quarter. 15 seconds showing. Dallas now leads 10-7 in the second quarter after the Bears took the early lead. It's like a space saucer, doesn't it? Those are the portholes atop the beautiful arch here along the Mississippi in St. Louis, which you make the ride up there in those sleds. You can look out over this part of Missouri and Illinois to the east. We open the second quarter. Dick Enberg with Merlin Olsen. Pittsburgh trailing St. Louis 9-7. Bradshaw to throw. Wide open Cunningham. Breaks one tackle, but not the second. He has a first down at the 44-yard line.
Successful passers. This Steeler offensive line will give him time to unload it. They did a good job on that particular play.
Franco Harris hit hard at the 45-yard line. Number 53, Steve Niels, crashed in from the left side linebacker spot, supported by Ken Green, 37. Niels from the University of Minnesota.
One of the disappointments so far during the year for the Pittsburgh Steelers is the fact that they have not run the ball well. You see Larry Brown pulling around in a combination block and getting a good piece of his man. But overall, this Steeler team has not been a very good running team, and they're very concerned about that. It's going to be a problem for them.
Harris is averaging only 2.9 yards a carry. Harris again out close to the 50-yard line, where it'll be third down and a short 5. Steelers to take the lead. They're down 9-7. This is 3rd and 5. Deep for Swan, but intercepted. That's Ken Stone. 30, 35, 40, 45. He's to the 50-yard line. Bradshaw made the tackle. First down, St. Louis, their 3rd turnover. NFL lead. He's a ball hawk. Cardinals leading 9-7. Have it at the Pittsburgh 49. Anderson to the 47. It'll be 2nd and 8.
This half ends.
The Buccaneers are 3-0. They beat Green Bay 21-10. Anderson, well, no hole at all, just his force and power driving for 3 to the 44. Number 24, 5th defensive back. Look how they line up. Almost every Steeler on the line of scrimmage.
Blitz.
Steve at the 40, I believe, close to the first down, but short by a yard as Donnie Shell made the tackle. It'll be 4th and 1.
Well, that's a tragic error. Hart read the blitz coming, throws the pattern right there as Steve breaks off the pattern against the blitz, but he was not deep enough to pick up the first down. A cardinal sin for a wide receiver, for any receiver for that matter.
Al Hart with 5 completions, now just 6 away, a half dozen away from that 2,000 completion club. He'd be the 10th player to do it.
And they're going on 4th down. Interesting decision by Wilkinson.
Anderson. First down, and there was one black shirt left. 53, Dennis Winston from a touchdown, and Winston doing a little verbalizing on Anderson after he picked up the first down.
Anderson made an absolutely incredible cut. Started to the outside and must have great vision because a hole popped open inside. You'll be watching it from ground level. Watch him. He's starting outside, and look how quickly he cuts and accelerates up to the inside. Really forced the Steelers to react by his direction and then took advantage, and you see the little scuffle. Dirt Winston giving him a little extra wrestle on the ground.
First down for the Cardinals at the 36. Hart open. Pat Tilley all the way to the 14-yard line. First down, St. Louis.
Jim Hart had had a brilliant preseason, had 2 not too good a games, very average games for Jim Hart, but he is certainly on the money today and reading well as he pops one to Tilley in the open. They're down there knocking at the door again.
Thomas Lott is in the game. Watch out for this Oklahoma former wishbone quarterback. Let's see what they do. Well, play action. Hart to the goal line, but not in. Goes 89, Gary Paris. Paris thought he had a touchdown. It'll be 1st and goal at about the 1-foot line.
You want to know how it feels to be down in the middle of the action? Right there, looking at the quarterback. And there is not much room. He threaded the needle on that one. They've got it on about the half-yard line. They'll try and put it in the end zone and extend their lead. What a super drive for the Cardinals.
Well, that's just a pebble of leather away from the goal line. 1st and goal. 4 shots at it from an inch away.
Full house backfield.
Whoa. Up the middle. Touchdown. Theodis Brown, the rookie from UCLA. Now the Cardinals take an interception and turn it into 6 points. Or was that Rod Phillips who got the score? Let's look at it again.
You see the handoff right there, and it's Theodis Brown, as you called it, Dick, over the top, and he met 2 Steelers who were also coming over the top. What a crunching collision that was.
No good. Little misses his 2nd extra point, and those extra points could come back to haunt the Cardinals. So with 8.5 minutes remaining in the 2nd quarter, St. Louis, in a most unusual football score, leads it 15-7. 15-7 St. Louis. We pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC Television Network.
This is WIC-TV, your new spirit station in Pittsburgh.
Brown, 1-yard touchdown smash up the middle, and the Cardinals lead 15-7. Little missed the extra point, drives it down to Larry Anderson at the 3, 15, 20, running room outside 25. He is out of bounds at the 34-yard line. First down, Pittsburgh. Ron Anderson, what did he do? Throw the ball after he was out of bounds?
Yeah, it looked like he spiked the ball, which is an automatic penalty. The official must not have been right on top of it because there was no penalty. Bradshaw, 5 of 9 for 86 yards, and I'm sure he's still smarting from that interception that set up that drive and set up the touchdown. Let's see what he can do with his Pittsburgh Steelers.
47-year-old Chuck Noll observing from the sidelines. Franco Harris. 40. Out to the 43. Knifing tackle by Niels, 53, supported by Carney, 56. His team last year, after an 0-8 start, finished 6-2. Draw, and Harris lurching to the 45-yard line, which would be a first down.
We had given Tim Carney a little bad ink earlier in the game as he was called for a penalty. Let's watch him make a great play here. Starts a reaction to the outside, reads the draw, quickly changes direction, and goes up inside to put the wood to Franco Harris. Excellent football play.
Speaking of Kansas City, a team that Carney once played for, they have lost to Houston 20-6. So the Oilers back on the track with a win today. They're 2-1. Of course, in the same division as Pittsburgh, and Cleveland also in that Central Division, a winner today. They're 3-0. First down at the 45. Thornton stays on his feet, and now Carney gets him the second time. Carney hit him, stopped him cold. Thornton, who's 5'11" and 230, has bounced back a step, but couldn't find any place to go.
He was being most effective against the pass game, but here you see how effective it is against the run game as Carney is blitzing and runs head-on into Thornton. Amazing that Thornton kept his balance, but there is nowhere to go. You see Pollard there, Niels there, and Carney himself as they close in and take him down for a big loss.
2nd and 15 at the Pittsburgh 40. Quick toss to Harris. Redwell and Green from the secondary fumble, and who's got it? Pittsburgh back at the 35-yard line.
No one gained control of it. One of the responsibilities of the outside receivers is not only to catch the ball, but to block. Lynn Swan, unfortunately, on that play, didn't do much of a job blocking on a safety, corner man. Watch him right here. His job is to occupy that number 45 is Smith. Smith was one of the people who was right on top of that tackle, knocked the ball loose. Unfortunately, no one got a hold of it before it went out of bounds. Pittsburgh will retain the ball, but they've got 3rd and about 20 yards to go.
Bradshaw facing a pass situation. To Cunningham at the 45, first down at the 41-yard line. And the Steelers on 3rd and 20 find that rainbow toss from Bradshaw right in the arms of the giant target Cunningham, and a first down Pittsburgh.
Terry Bradshaw reading that defense perfectly and throwing a beautiful pass that hung forever. Gave Cunningham a chance to run underneath it, had plenty of room, knew where that first down was, and got it.
Big play for Pittsburgh. First down at the 40. Otherwise, they would have had to kick the ball to the Cardinals, who lead 15-7. Less than 6 minutes remaining in this first half.
It's their first conversion on 3rd down, isn't it, Dick?
I believe it is. Bradshaw, long for Stallworth. Out of bounds. He caught the ball, but was out of bounds. Roger Worley on the coverage. But again, Bradshaw, what a throw. He was just inches from scoring on that toss.
You see Charlie Davis working in the middle on Webster. Webster doing a fine job. Gets a little help from Corson. They give Bradshaw a chance to throw. Now watch the feet. He's out of bounds. Watch it right there. Now the official has got to judge whether his own momentum carried him out of bounds or whether the hit by the defensive back carried him out of bounds. In that case, he judged that he would have landed out of bounds on his own momentum. Calls it out. Good decision, I believe, from our angle.
2nd and 10 at the 40 of St. Louis. Up in the fumble. And I believe Pittsburgh recovers their own miscue. And the Steelers have indeed been fortunate the last 2 weeks. They recovered 3 of their own fumbles last week against Houston, and Larry Brown, the man on the spot, to cover the second one today. Pittsburgh has fumbled 4 times.
Well, and each of those has been a forced fumble. They haven't been sloppy fumbles. They've been caused by hits. You see right there, Captain Crunch, Pollard reaching back and got a hold of Franco's arm and just forced him to cough that football up. They are very lucky to have it again, although it's going to be 3rd and 8, and we've got the specialty unit on the field. 4-man rush, 6 defensive backs in the game.
From the 39, 3rd and 9 for Bradshaw. Good time. Broken up nicely by Ken Stone. That's a almost like a man playing against the pivot in basketball. He was screened away from Cunningham, was able to spin around and get a hand on a pass and knock it away.
Absolutely a superb play. The defender is not allowed to run through the receiver to get at that ball, and he just spun around him. Watch him right here. Spins around without making contact, reaches out, takes the backhand, knocks it away, almost like a bullfighter. Marvelous play.
89 Cunningham says, hey, you took my wallet. That's my money you're taking.
Where's my football?
Willard Harrell, the deep man, but they're going to try to down this one, and do they in time? Where are they going to call it? In the end zone? Yes, it'll be a touchback for St. Louis. As 49, Dwayne Woodruff came ever so close to getting that ball down inside the 1. So Craig Colquitt, a near miss. It's St. Louis at their own 20, and the Cardinals, an underdog to Pittsburgh, have the lead. National competition diving and USAC dirt car racing. 100-mile race from Des Moines, Illinois. Draw play. Otis Brown. They call him Bigfoot at UCLA, and for good reason. Brown wears a 14 double or triple E shoe. He's pretty good on the wet carpet.
Wouldn't want to have him kick you with that foot either. One of the things that impresses me, we felt, Dick, last year watching the Cardinals play, that one of their great weaknesses was a lack of speed, especially to the outside. They've cured that with Anderson. And they've also got big Otis Brown, who can go up inside, and if he breaks loose, he's got about 4.6 speed, too.
2nd and 3, Hart. 6 for 12 passing, make it 7 for 13 as Anderson gets the first down at the 31-yard line. So Otis Anderson showing he can catch the ball as well as run it. So often that's the case. You can't get the combination. A man runs well but doesn't have the good hands. It appears Anderson has the full package. There's the halftime score, Seattle leading Oakland. So the Raiders shut out the first 30 minutes by the Seahawks.
Seattle off to an 0-2 start. I'm sure Jack Patera is excited by the fact that they're ahead. Anderson also blocks well and apparently is a complete back. We'll look more at him today. He's an outstanding young prospect.
Hart now only 4 completions away from 2,000. Not much of a hole there for Brown, who gets a couple of yards out to the 33. Don't forget halftime, all the scores and highlights on him.
To establish his relationship to this Pittsburgh defensive team. What an outstanding player he is.
Fumble and recovered by Pittsburgh. 57, is it? 67. Gary Dunn from Miami of Florida has again a mistake on the handoff, and the Steelers get a big break before halftime with 3:12 left in this first half. The Steelers now with a chance to convert a turnover.
Oh, we've seen the ball on the carpet a lot of times today, and that's unusual, especially to see that many this early in the game. 2 weeks in a row we've had a lot of fumbles. This week they've been picked up by the opposition.
From the St. Louis 29, Bradshaw on a double wing. Gives it to Harris, runs into his own man, and a flag goes down. Charlie Davis, 76, the nose tackle of the Cardinals, doing a fine job and running right into that play. There just wasn't a hole.
Well, the holding call. Lots of those today, too. Certainly that's one of the things we're seeing more and more of with the liberalization, shall we say, of the use of the hands by the offensive linemen. They've really changed their blocking techniques and are being flagged more and more, especially on running plays.
Holding, number 52, offense, first down.
That's the second holding call against the All-Pro center, Mike Webster of the Steelers.
Perhaps an indication that he's got his hands full with Mr. Davis out there.
No pun intended, I trust. Second down 20, or check it, 1st and 20. Thornton, and he stopped at the 38. Mike Dawson, 73, the defensive end from Arizona, who hunts javelinas in the offseason, the wild pigs, and he hunted down Thornton after a short game.
Decided they didn't want to eat there.
Have a look at a javelina, huh?
Right.
Bradshaw. Deep for Grossman, and he just threw that one away. Ken Stone, 23, the Cardinal safety, was closer to the ball. So we have 2 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in the first half. Bradshaw, his team trailing 15-7, now looks at a 3rd down 18.
Proved themselves tremendously, and they are
Bradshaw under a blitz. And they get Bradshaw, who doesn't load the ball, and there's no penalty flag down. And uh-oh, Bradshaw is hurt. Bradshaw crumpled under that pile of white jerseys, and that's a sight that no one likes to see. Zook and Jankowski coming in from the two ends. And let's hope that the writhing pain of Bradshaw reflects only a injury that is not serious, and something that painful now but won't carry him out of action for any extended period of time. But it does not look good. That comes at the 2:16 mark remaining in this first half. We have a timeout. The score, Busch Stadium, St. Louis. The Cardinals 15, the Steelers 7. More important, the condition of Bradshaw. We'll be right back.
For everyone who's concerned as you see the stretcher being trotted onto the field.
You wonder if it is a knee after all. They're taking off the shoe, and the pain of Bradshaw, and of course any of you watching now that have ever suffered a fracture, you're the one who knows it. You hear it, and it doesn't look good, obviously, and for Bradshaw it's either an ankle or a knee, and they're going to need the stretcher to take the most valuable player off the field.
He went down under a tremendous rush, and four very big people right on top of him. He took a lot of weight. One thing that is tremendous about the advances in technology, Dick, they'll have an X-ray unit right in the dressing room. Let's see if we can't pick it up. You see the pressure. Zook on the outside, 78, Jankowski right there, and it's Zook who has him. It looks like the leg went under about two different guys right there, and Bradshaw spinning out of there, holding the ankle, it looks like. Not the knee, but the ankle. So Bradshaw being helped from the field. We would hope that perhaps is a bad sprain rather than anything more serious. Mike Prusik, number 15, has not had a lot of playing time. Certainly one of the question marks. Do they have someone who can come in and fill the tremendously important role that Bradshaw has filled for so long? And you hear the fans here. They really have great respect.
Terry Bradshaw 6 for 14, but that's a statistic that means nothing. Here it is again. Apparently the ankle crumpling under the attack of all that Cardinal beef. There, the left ankle gets turned underneath and then perhaps locked, and with the weight falling against it, either a fracture or a sprain. Colquitt has to punt, and it goes into the end zone. At this point, you get that feeling the game's kind of flat. The real story is back in that Pittsburgh locker room.
These Cardinals went through that last week with Deerdorf, and
what does that mean? That's an interesting point. What that does to a team, and Deerdorf's reaction was so interesting. What he told Bud Wilkinson, I let the team down. What an interesting comment from a man who certainly didn't want to be hurt.
Well, I'm sure Bradshaw will feel the same way. His commitment and Deerdorf's commitment are really the commitments of all pros who say, I want to do what I can to help my team, and if they're not there, they feel like they've kind of cheated their teammates. Incredible performers, both of them, and I for one, I'm sure our fans tuned in across the country are very sad to see a player like that leave the field.
Hart dumps it off to Theodis Brown. Does not get out of bounds. Down at the 25, and Lambert came close to a late hit. There's the 2-minute warning. The official 2-minute warning with the score 15-7 St. Louis. Hart and the Cardinals will try to generate an offense and build on that halftime lead. Only 9 men in NFL history belong to that 2000 completion club. Jim Hart 3 away, and we may just see him try for those 3 before halftime because there's 2 minutes remaining, and the Cardinals with a 15-7 lead figure to throw the ball. 2nd and 5 at their 25. Gets only a couple to the 27-yard line. See if Hart spends one of his timeouts. No. Dunn and Lambert and company making the tackle for Pittsburgh. In comes Dave Stief, 84, with a play from the sidelines.
Wilkinson may be happy to sit on that 8-point lead. Certainly missing the 2 extra points hurts, but still they're more than a full touchdown out, and that's a pretty comfortable margin as you approach the half. Looks like he's going to be happy with it.
1:28, 1:27 clock running. Almost intercepted by Jack Ham, who leads all the active NFL linebackers with 26. He doesn't drop too many.
You hear pool players talk about a long green, and that's what Jack Ham had in front of him. Not a single player out there. If Ham could control that football, he could have turned it up the field and might well have had a touchdown.
Boy, how well he knows that. Determined, tough, bright. He's the linebacker non-Perel. 1:19 left, and the Steelers will get a shot at cutting into the lead before the intermission. Let's see if they're going to go after the punter Little. He's acting as if he thinks they're coming. Cardinals going to call time. I fear that Little wasn't convinced he had 10 men blocking for him.
Some of those Steelers look like two people. Maybe he was counting them as such.
They didn't call time. That's a 5-yard penalty, delay of game. 15-7. In case you joined us late, the Cardinals recovered a fumble on the first play of the game, could not convert it. Finally did go ahead 6-0 on a 12-yard run by rookie Otis Anderson. Stallworth touchdown from Bradshaw of 18 yards after a field goal, short field goal, made it 9-7. Beautiful kick by Little. Jim Smith to his 25, 30, 34-yard line. Good coverage by the Cardinals. 53-yard kick, and we've got a forearm thrown by J.T. Thomas, perhaps in retaliation, but that one was wide open where everyone saw it, and we have a flag down at the 44.
That's number 55, Eric Williams, Bad Red Williams, at the other end of that battle. Let's see what the officials do as they sort it out. I wouldn't be surprised to see somebody ejected on that one.
I would think so. It appeared that there were punches thrown.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 55, number 24, both dead ball fouls, offset, first down Medway.
Personal foul, no indication by referee Jerry Markbright that those men had been ejected, so apparently it's just a wash. Thomas would have gotten 15 yards out of it, but he retaliated, and that wiped out the 15 that Eric Williams would have pulled for his initial foul.
You've got to control those emotions on the field, at least in retaliation. That's the one that always seems to cost you the most.
Mike Kruzik is now the quarterback for Pittsburgh. Wide open, Lynn Swann to the 50, he's to the 48. Time 58 seconds left in this first half. Score, St. Louis 15, Pittsburgh 7. Kruzik in relief of the injured Terry Bradshaw, trying to drive the Steelers to a score before the intermission. He hits an 18-yard pass for 3, and maybe happy they've kept 3. Bradshaw taken off on a stretcher with an ankle injury. First down play to Rocky Blyer, his first carry of the year, and he's going out of bounds at the 37-yard line. So Blyer picks up around 10 and stops the clock with 43 seconds left. That was his first carry.
A lot pleased to see number 20 back in the lineup. Certainly a real competitor. Rocky doesn't have some of the wide open athletic skill, but I've never seen an athlete who wants it more badly than he does. Watch him there, boy, his eyes got big. He said, I'm going to get every inch I can, and I will get out of bounds, which he did.
And a first down for the Steelers. We have 2 timeouts left. Kruzik flag down to Hawthorne, the rookie from Baylor. He doesn't get out of bounds. Hawthorne did not get out of bounds. The tackle by 57, Mark Arneson, the 8-year veteran from Arizona. So the Steelers stop the clock, use a timeout, 33 seconds left, or maybe, no, this is for the penalty. Against Pittsburgh, motion. Stops the clock, 33 seconds left. Pittsburgh trails by 8.
Crunch, they call him.
Offense not set for a full second. Decline. Second down.
take the play to the Cardinals because there was a loss of 2 yards. 2nd and 12. Kruzik down the middle. Swan. 19-yard line, first down. The acrobatic wide receiver Swan has the Steelers deep in Cardinal territory, and 77 Steve Corson is limping off injured for Pittsburgh. So the clock was running. Pittsburgh trying to run a play without a huddle, but Kruzik didn't have an offensive lineman as Corson was hurt on the play.
You can see Kruzik going back, and we said that game breaker Lynn Swan would make his appearance shortly. There he is. And one of the patented Swan high leaping catches. Kruzik threw it exactly as Bradshaw, his mentor, would have thrown it. Put it right on the money, and Swan brought it down. That injury to Corson, very dangerous. They're already dangerously low on offensive linemen. Ray Penny lost for the year. Sam Davis, of course, they don't want to have to play him today. You see him on the sideline. He's not ready yet. They have got young Tom Dornbrook into the ball game. Corson, they were worried about. They knew he had a problem going into the game. Had been playing well. But a young rook in there, actually a second-year player with 1 year experience. Dornbrook has gone in now to try and fill in for Corson.
It's an emotional, very important time for the Steelers to come out of this with some points, and ideally for Pittsburgh, because their season may rest in the hands of Mike Kruzik. For him to get Pittsburgh a touchdown would give them a tremendous lift, I would think, at the intermission.
Certainly do the yours at hamstring. You may be out for 6 or 8 weeks, and we can't afford that.
Kruzik perfect on this drive. First down at the 19. Under pressure. Grossman. Ball tipped and almost went back to Swan standing on the goal line. Ken Stone, 23 on the coverage for St. Louis. That stops the clock. 13 seconds left in this first half. The Cardinals leading the Steelers 15-7.
Zook and Dawson both in, giving Kruzik all kinds of pressure on that play, but he was pretty cool. I've been impressed with him so far, and certainly one of the marks of this Pittsburgh team is the kind of quality depth that they keep demonstrating week in and week out. You can't show me another team in football that can put as many starters on the sideline and still play good football.
Report on Corson. Bruised right knee, probably will return. Harris on a draw to the 17. A play that has worked through the years for the Steelers when the defense has anticipated pass, but the Cardinals read it well. And here comes Matt Barr in to try a field goal. Barr is 2 for 4. He's hit from 41 and from 45 yards in the first 2 weeks. And this one, apparently, out of the hold of Colquitt from the 25, will be 35 yards. Seconds remaining in the half. Official stopping the clock, and now both teams are set. No good. Wide to the left. So the Steelers are hit in the head with 2 tough emotional blows. The loss of their Super Bowl most valuable player, quarterback Terry Bradshaw, and then a drive engineered.
Apparently does not have a broken ankle. In fact, may even play in the second half, although I would be quite surprised to see them take any risks with him. He's such a valuable quarterback. But one of the other stories, Dick, we've been following closely, Anderson in his quest for his third 100-yard game, and doesn't look like he's going to do it unless he has a very big second half.
Well, the official statistics in, he has only 27 yards rushing. One of those, of course, a touchdown, a 12-yard touchdown run. By the way, William Andrews of the Atlanta Falcons, he had only 43 yards today, so he also denied that 100-yard game 3 consecutive times as a rookie. And still another, Jim Hart has thrown the ball very well against the Steeler defense that allowed in the first 2 games a total of only 104 yards, and he had 110 yards the first half.
I think there's Bradshaw. And it's good to see him moving around. Very often something happens to an athlete when pain hits him and he feels those bodies crunch. There's an instant surge that says, I'm hurt, and the fear very often makes you feel that you're hurt worse than you actually are. Statistics very even in the first half, almost dead even. And of course, the most important stat isn't there, the score, which is still 8 points in favor of the Cardinals. One other thing that is certainly impressive to me, you talked about the passing of Hart. He's gotten time to throw the ball, and the Cardinal defense has really played superior football. Then I think certainly the major contribution to that lead that the Cardinals have is the takeaways, which were forced by brutal tackles. And, of course, the Cardinals able to take advantage of at least one of those with a 7-pointer.
And St. Louis with the lead will get the ball to open this second half as Barr kicks it off. That's Harrell taking the short kick at the 12. 20. He's got some running room at the 30. 35 and down at the 40-yard line. Willard Harrell played at Pacific, then with Green Bay, and now with the St. Louis Cardinals. Let's reset that St. Louis Cardinal offense as Jim Hart comes on the field with his rookie running tandem of Otis Anderson and Theodis Brown. Wide receivers are Mel Gray and Pat Tilley. The tight end Gary Paris. Offensive line of Banks, Young, and Steve at guards. Wortman at one tackle, and Joe Bostic, the rookie tackle, replacing the injured Dan Deerdorf.
Steve has a very nasty four-cornered scar on his chin. Took it on the chin last week, literally, and they laid it open to the right to the bone. But he's a tough one. He's back in that lineup. And Banks, of course, has been down with a deep thigh bruise. Interesting story. I'll get to it in a minute, Dick.
First down at the Cardinal 40-yard line. Nothing there. Burrowing for a couple yards. Anderson.
Verhaniot said, "You got to play."
He did. Two centers, the same team occupying the same hospital room.
Theodis Brown to the 50, and finally steps out of bounds at the Pittsburgh 47 with a first down. That man is 225 pounds, and he can go.
Looks to me like the Pittsburgh defense certainly centered on stopping number 32, Otis Anderson. They better adjust their sights a little bit and also include number 33, Theodis Brown, as he has certainly been the more effective ball carrier today and got off for a fine gain there.
Brown at the 50-yard mark as he ran away from Cole and Wagner before Lambert pushed him out of bounds. Otis Anderson. He got a couple of yards when a normal back would have lost 5, as Jack Ham had him in the backfield.
We don't see Jack Ham miss many tackles. Anderson did a great job, just stiff-armed him and popped him to the turf, and also showed me a little smart there on the sideline. Knew he couldn't make more than a half a yard, decided it wasn't worth taking all those big devils on, and stepped out of bounds. I admire him for that.
There was a day, though, when some football players, ex-football players, would say, no, that isn't the thing to do. But a 16-game season, you don't want to force yourself into a foolish physical vice. Hart's first pass of the second half. Incomplete to Tilley at the 43, covered well by Jack Lambert.
We've talked often about the stunning of defensive linemen. We're focusing on Joe Green. Watch him. He's going to jump to his right, jump clear around the other defensive tackle, and head up on the other side. Gets room to get to the inside, dodges by a back, gets there just as hard, unloads the football. And Joe is a real gentleman on that particular occasion. He just pats Hart on the back and says, "I was here a little late. I'll try and get here sooner next time."
Just remember my number. Hart has seen it much too often in his career, despite the fact he's been one of the better protected quarterbacks in the NFL. 3rd and 8. Anderson. Look at that move. He doesn't get the first down as he's hauled down at the 44 by Mel Blount. But what a job of just eluding the two Steelers that seemed to have him 5 yards back downfield. Third quarter score. Stabler has hit Rich Martini, 11-yard touchdown. Oakland's first score. 10-7 Seattle leads at the Kingdome. Elsewhere, Chicago back in the lead against Dallas 13-10 as Vince Evans, quarterbacking the Bears today, hits Golden Richards 52 yards, extra point block. And the Rams down 10-0, get a couple of touchdowns in the second quarter and lead the 49ers at the half 14-10 at the Coliseum. Jim Smith back at the 11-yard line as Little to kick. Just gets it away, and there's going to be a flag. No flag. 10-5, and down at the 1-yard line. Perfectly covered as Steve Little skips it into the Pittsburgh 1. Now the Steelers have the ball. Let's see whether Little was fouled.
full all-out rush right there. Looks like he's doing a little acting on that one again.
He's got a couple of Emmys already today.
2.
Steeler is tough to beat, but against the Steeler, I can't compete.
When a Steeler gets hit, it's got the guts to bounce back.
You turkey.
Uniroyal presents the Steeler Radial. It's built tough with 2 steel belts, and it's tough to beat when you look at its price.
To get to this year's Super Bowl, I'll just surround myself with 4 tough Steelers.
The Uniroyal Steeler. You want a tough tire at a price that's fair? You want Uniroyal there.
A half hour ago, Terry Bradshaw, grasping in pain his ankle, appeared to have a serious injury. Here he is starting the second half from his own 1. And Franco Harris squashed after maybe a half-yard gain. Bradshaw, he's a tremendous physical specimen. I really didn't believe he'd be back this soon.
I didn't either. The last time that happened to me, one of my teammates did that. He earned the nickname Lazarus back from the dead. And I tell you, Terry off on a stretcher and now back into the game, but I'm sure he wouldn't be out there unless they checked him very carefully and know that there's not much of a chance of further injuring that ankle.
Bradshaw back at the helm of the Pittsburgh ship. Second and a short 10. Up the middle, Thornton bowls his way out near the 8-yard line and close to a first down. It'll be 3rd and 2, maybe 3. 3rd and 3, call it.
There's some hard, tough, rough football going on. You see number 63 breaking over from the outside, pulling in to try and give him some protection. That's Dornbrook out there, and Thornton made most of that on his own. Found a little crack and just sledded his way out to about the 7-yard line. Still a big down, 3rd and 4.
Pittsburgh made only 1 of 7 third downs in the first half. Bradshaw from his end zone. Intercepted. Carl Allen at the 11-yard line. St. Louis has the ball. Allen's first interception of the year, and they've been picking on him, and he says, aha, I'll get one back.
Ball did not appear to have much zip on it. They actually had double coverage on Swan. Allen was in position to read the pass, and boy, he's a happy young man. He's had his problems the last couple of weeks. They've been going after him and going after him, as you said, but he got him there. It was his turn, his moment of glory.
So the Cardinals' 4th turnover at the 11. The Otis Brown bumped out of bounds near the 7-yard line. Mel Blount, 47, up from his right corner to make the tackle.
Certainly the story of this game has been turnovers. And again, what tremendous field position. Not only getting the football, but getting it down that close to the goal line. Bud Wilkinson wants desperately to capitalize. Would love the 7 points. Would give them a 15-point lead. That would mean 2 touchdowns and a field goal would be needed on the Pittsburgh ledger to put them out in front.
Brown has 53 yards rushing, not 38. And it's 2nd down 6. Anderson, look at that cutback, and he's down near the 2-yard line. Well, it was interesting coming in here in Berlin. We asked a lot of the players, who does Anderson remind you of? And we got a little bit of Jim Brown, a little bit of Sayers, and a little bit of O.J. But watching him, he reminds me most of O.J. Simpson, at least the way he cuts back against that grain. He has more power, but the way he can cut against the grain.
You'll get an idea here of that cutting ability. And what he's doing, starting to the outside this way, is setting his blocks, really. And the stretch, I think that's the thing you see that reminds you of O.J., that long stretching movement with the feet close to the ground.
Full house backfield on 3rd and a long 1. And Hart's going to throw. Anderson, bulldog down on a perfect tackle by all-pro safety Donnie Shell. Oh, that's a big play by Shell. So the Cardinals deny.
Donnie Shell, one of the toughest one-on-one tacklers in football. Rather an interesting call from Hart. They're getting a blitz on him. He gets the ball away, but Shell's responsibility in the blitz is one-on-one on that receiver, and he's there to handle it with force.
Little. No, it's Wood this time, and he makes it. Mike Wood, number 19, kicks the field goal. So Bud Wilkinson kept shuffling his kicking cards. And he finally found an ace in Wood. He gets 3, and the Cardinals lead now by 11. Cardinals now lead 18-7. We pause briefly from St. Louis for station identification. This is the NBC Television Network.
This is WIC-TV, your new spirit station in Pittsburgh.
Larry Anderson with Anthony Anderson and Greg Hawthorne deep for St. Louis. Little's kick goes to Larry Anderson at the goal line. 15, 25. Oh, is juggling the football as he hit the carpet at the 28-yard line. Kurt Alderman, voted the top special teams player by the Cardinals last week, made the hit. Dallas back in front of that seesaw affair at Soldier Field, or down in Irving rather, as the Cowboys now lead the Bears 17-13. San Diego and Buffalo 2019 in the fourth quarter in San Diego. Chargers lead. They're going for a 3-0 start.
Much better game than people had predicted.
Yes, it is. San Diego very up emotionally for the win against Oakland last week. Bradshaw has a man open, Stallworth, and he did that nice little two-step on the sidelines to stay in bounds, although Bud Wilkinson argues a bit.
I think you got to argue to let those officials know you're watching sometimes. Stallworth, an excellent receiver. We pointed it out again and again. And he will be one-on-one on Worley because they still want to give Carl Allen help on the other side of the line of scrimmage. So Worley has his job cut out for him today.
Bradshaw, first down at his own 41. Gives to Thornton. Fumble! Who's got it? Pollard. At the 42. Steelers say they have recovered it. Pollard made a dive for the ball, but a arm swept it in, and it belonged, I believe, to John Kolb, 55 of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Or was it Larry Brown? Yep, Pittsburgh. That's the third time they've recovered their own fumbles, plus losing 2 today.
Get an idea of the kind of hitting going on the line of scrimmage. Grossman gets a piece of Carney right there. Carney gets back in. Watch the ball. Thornton gets stripped right there. Looks like Arneson, really, that dropped the hand into it. The ball is loose. Larry Brown and Pollard both fighting for it, and Brown came out with the ball in hand.
Brown has recovered 2 fumbles today for Pittsburgh. Second down and 9 at the Pittsburgh 41. Harris, short yardage to the 44-yard line. Tim Carney makes another tackle for St. Louis, 8-year veteran from northern Michigan.
Well, we said he was their resident wild man. To get an idea of the kind of mobility he has. He's blitzing again. Coming hard to the inside, shoots the gap, and has Franco before he can even get out of the backfield. Fine defensive play, and not much that Franco could do about it. Boy, he's got him pumped up out there.
When he was at Cincinnati, they say they named a hamburger after him. I couldn't find out what the name was, but I could think of a few. You know, it was well ground. Third down. Might be intercepted. Allen had it, and it went right through his hands to Lynn Swan, who is out of bounds. How in the world did that one get through to Swan? He's amazing with his concentration.
We're going to have to put this act on stage. Watch Lynn Swan. He really gets covered effectively by Allen, who's going for a position here, reading the cornerback's eyes. Allen has the ball. Now watch Swan. He goes right into his face mask, comes back, picks it up, and is still concerned about his feet. You see what he's doing with his feet?
Almost got it. What a great athlete. Colquitt delivers a short kick. Harrell, 20. Gets some blocks. 25, 30. Might go all the way. 40, 50, 40. Anderson to beat. And Larry Anderson saves a touchdown. But what a return by the birthday boy. Happy birthday, Willard Harrell. He's 27 today.
Get some great response from his teammates. 1 out of every 5 plays last year was a special teams play. You get an idea of the importance of the special teams right here, as Harrell puts them in great field position, puts Pittsburgh's back against the wall, and only a great play right there by Larry Anderson saved the 6 points.
66 yards on the return by Harrell. First down, St. Louis. They lead 18-7. Brown straight ahead near the 10-yard line. Center of the Pittsburgh defense stopping him. Harrell, whose strength is that kick return. And he gives the Cardinals a big play inside the Pittsburgh 15. And now Jim Hart looking for that next completion that would put him in the 2000 completion club. Of course, Fran Tarkenton, Sir Francis, the only man to complete more than 3,000.
Special teams coach Jerry Thompson with the frustration of the kicking game. I think Harrell wanted something good in that film so that they didn't have to hear too much of complaining.
Second down, 8. Blitz is on, and Hart gets it away. No grounding. He had 2 men there, Mel Gray and Theodis Brown, and Jack Lambert really pressuring Hart. Jim Hart, now 35, Southern Illinois, a free agent.
You get an idea of how quickly the Steeler linebackers can blitz. Hart didn't even have a chance to get all the way back, didn't even get a chance to set up. Had to unload it. Theodis Brown not yet even turning around as Hart had to get it out of there to save the sack. At least he didn't lose any yardage on the play anyway. That's an experienced quarterback.
Hart having a good day. Now it's 3rd and 8. Good protection. And intercepted by J.T. Thomas, or was it? Flags are down, but I don't think any whistle. This is a live play. The Cardinals finally make the tackle at the 26 as Bob Young gets J.T. Thomas, but a flag is down at the 5-yard line, and we could have a defensive penalty against the Steelers. We'll see.
That's one of those dangerous plays where a lot of players had seen the flag and actually stopped. And boy, you never want to stop till you hear that whistle because it could be against the other team. In fact, Joe Green indicating the penalty is against the Cardinals.
But there are 2 flags down, one at the 5 and one at the line of scrimmage. Let's find out from Jerry Markbright. Holding against Pittsburgh and against the Cardinals on the line of scrimmage. No play.
Everybody using their hands on that one. Jim Hart a little frustrated by that. Actually a little relieved, I'm sure, as that ball was thrown short. Came up in the hands of J.T. Thomas.
Now, Merlin, you played against Hart and the Cardinals so many years, and their reputation of protecting the quarterback.
Defense 59, holding, offense 62, offset,
Ham
3rd down.
for Pittsburgh. Wortman, the left tackle of the Cardinals, holding and negating penalties.
The ball will go back to the original line of scrimmage. Be played from there.
3rd down and 8 as Seattle now opens its lead against Oakland in the 3rd quarter. A Zorn to Largent pass of 21 yards. San Diego now leads 27-19. Clarence Williams a 2-yard run for the Chargers. 4th quarter. 3rd and 8 at the Pittsburgh 11. Anderson, and there's Hart doing 2 things. One, trying to maneuver the ball in the center of the field for the field goal, but also with the Steelers showing almost an 11-man front, hoping Anderson could pop free, break at the line of scrimmage, and go in for an easy score. Mike Wood will come on to try the field goal. He made his first of the season after missing his first 5. The last possession by the Cardinals. This would give St. Louis a 21-7 lead. Up, and it is good. 27 yards for Wood, and now we're off those unusual point totals the Cardinals have suffered throughout the day with 2 missed extra points. With 7 minutes left in the 3rd quarter, St. Louis leads Pittsburgh 21-7. Anderson, the heralded rookie of the Cardinals, has been kept in check as the Steeler defenses want to do to so many great backs. Earl Campbell included last week when Campbell had only 36 yards and 18 carries. The Cardinals nevertheless lead 21-7. Little's kick to Larry Anderson, 5 yards deep, and he does not come out with it. Apparently the Steelers have a rule: if you're more than 2 yards deep in the end zone, don't try to take it out.
Little certainly doing a much better job on his kickoffs. Came out of college with great renown as a powerful kicker, and really had horrible problems last year, but apparently has settled down. And of course, part of that problem, adjusting, came from the fact that you don't use the tee here in pro ball to kick your extra points and field goals. And of course, you get to use your own ball in college. That thing looked like a watermelon, I'm sure, after he got through kicking it around.
Cowboys now lead by 4, as you saw. Franco Harris gets only a yard. Hauled down by Steve Niels. Piggybacked him down at the 21. Let's go through all the finals for you. Denver beat Atlanta in overtime 2017. The Jets 31, Lions 10. New England beat Cincinnati 2014. Philadelphia now 2-1 with a 26-14 win at New Orleans. Franco Harris slow getting up. Cleveland from behind to beat Baltimore 13-10 after the Colts took an early 10-0 lead. Minnesota was ahead 12-7 when Miami went on a scoring run and finally beat the Vikings 27-12. Tampa Bay 3-0 as they beat Green Bay 21-10, and Houston over Kansas City 20-6 as Franco Harris hobbles off.
You'd never like to see an athlete go off like that with the weight completely off a leg. Certainly this has been a day of shock and fear on the Pittsburgh sideline, and also great dismay on the field. It's not been a good day for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Bradshaw carted off the field on a stretcher in the second quarter, but back at quarterback has a man open, Cunningham, but a flag is down. Cunningham surrounded, still on his feet, finally stopped at the 29, but a flag down thrown by the head linesman.
Looking inside at the mass of bodies, the blitz was on against Bradshaw. You see the call here, offside, someone trying to jump the count. Bradshaw going on a late count, anticipating the blitz, I'm sure, because he's seen it so often in this game. He now has the option of accepting or rejecting the penalty. Quite sure he'll reject it, as the ball is very near to a first down.
We understand Steve Corson, the guard playing for the injured Sam Davis. Corson, number 77, probably
offside,
out for the day.
Number 82, defense.
Pollard offside.
Decline.
Corson suffering a hamstring, so he's probably lost for the day. We understand Ron Johnson also injured for the Steelers, and now Franco Harris looking at that ankle.
Oh, in spite of their great depth, they cannot afford to have too many of their frontline people hurt.
Third and a short one for Bradshaw. Give it to Hawthorne on a reverse. First down out at the 34-yard line. Interesting call on third and short.
Not only interesting, pretty courageous. But one of the things that you have to respect about Bradshaw, he's not afraid to make a call like that. A lot of quarterbacks aren't confident enough to take a chance like that. But that's the very kind of play that often pays off big. Even if it backfires on you, everyone who looks in and looks at your film has to say, did you see what he ran on third and short? And they have to respect that.
Give Hawthorne 6 yards on the carry. First down, Bradshaw. And Stallworth wide open. A good pump fake to the right, and Stallworth 5 yards in the open to the left, and misdirected throw by Terry Bradshaw. He's unhappy with himself.
Yeah, it looked like you tried to steer that one. Saw how open Stallworth was and tried to get it right to the right molecule and didn't throw it well.
So second down and 10, and you see the Cardinals bringing in their pass rushing unit and an extra defensive back. Hawthorne and Thornton are the running backs behind Bradshaw. Hawthorne, the rookie from Baylor, the tail of the eye. Hawthorne rumbles out to the 40-yard line where it'll be third down and 4. Right ankle of Franco Harris. They do not know at the moment how serious that injury is. Ron Jankowski made the tackle, 78 for St. Louis.
See Pollard as he drives aggressively forward. Larry Brown getting an arm lock on him to try and open a little room. In fact, able to hold him long enough for Hawthorne to pop by behind him. Looked like the play designed originally to go inside, went outside, and there's Franco Harris. Looks like he's in pain on the sideline.
Third and 4. Open is Hawthorne. First down, and Hawthorne drives to the 50-yard line. Took 3 men to bring him down. So Greg Hawthorne, the top draft pick of the Pittsburgh Steelers, 6'2.5" and 225, filling in for that man Franco Harris, and doing quite a job. And here's Harris, apparently going to be helped back to the Pittsburgh locker room.
Well, they're giving that X-ray unit a workout in the locker room. It looks to me that Hawthorne may have a chance to play. Pretty hard to get into that Pittsburgh lineup without an injury, and this might give the young rookie an opportunity to show Chuck Knoll and the rest of the coaching staff what he can do.
Blyer is now in with Hawthorne, and it's Rocky Blyer with a give. Look at him fight out to the 40 near another first down for Pittsburgh as Blyer gets 10. This is Dick Enberg and Merlin Olsen at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. 4 minutes remaining in the third quarter.
You've got to love the enthusiasm of Rocky Blyer. He has excellent vision too. Hole did not open up where it was expected. Blyer found it, made the extra yards, and I watch him. He's going to get up and help the tackler up off the ground. I love him.
Measure for the first down appears to be just short. So with 4 minutes left in the third quarter, the Steelers with the ball. They trail St. Louis 21-7. Ball at the 40 of the Cardinals.
Interesting, I think, to look across. There's no panic on the Steelers sideline. Many teams around the league down by 14 points this late in the quarter, third quarter, would absolutely be petrified and would be starting to abandon all of their plans and throwing the ball on every down. Steelers working very systematically, very calmly, and I think are sure they're going to win this game.
They started this drive, Merlin, back at the 20-yard line, and now have another first down as Blyer goes to the Cardinal 38. You could hear the pads pop on that tackle as Dawson 73 and Carney 56 made the hit.
A little surprised at that. That was a throwaway down, short yardage on second down. Bradshaw having an opportunity to go deep if he wanted it, chose to be conservative, but again, mixing up his options. You never know what he's going to do, and that's one of his strengths as a quarterback.
Bud Wilkinson, he was not only a fine football star in Minnesota, but a hockey goalie. He learned to duck that puck now and then, and sometimes that pays off as a football coach. Hawthorne in motion. You might want to go to Hawthorne. Nope, going to go the other way. Roger Worley makes one of his all-pro plays, knocking it away from Stallworth.
Roger Worley isolated one-on-one on John Stallworth. We'd indicated to you that most of the help would be delivered on the other side. Watch Stallworth. Down is going to break now to the inside, and his job to keep going across. Let's see if Worley gets there. Woo! Might have gotten there ahead of that football. The official did not call interference, but you see right there, contact before the arrival of the ball. And from our vantage point, perhaps a good case could be made for interference.
But it's second down and 10.
Blitz on the way.
And Blyer gets to the 33-yard line before he stopped. Coming up from the secondary, Ken Stone, 23, and Ken Green, 37, the safeties. It'll be third down, Pittsburgh, and 4.
With all of the people pouring into the middle of that line, you wouldn't think there'd be any room. But Dornbrook does an excellent job of sealing to the inside. And they were able to give Rocky Blyer just enough room to pop. He made a fine gain out of it. Let's see if Bradshaw will throw it up on third down here.
Meanwhile, the Rams down 10-0 have rallied 3 consecutive touchdowns, lead 21-10 in the third quarter. Big play for the Steelers. Oops, Bradshaw, and he still almost got the ball to Thornton. What an effort by Bradshaw, who may have retwisted that ankle and fell, still courageously bouncing onto one knee and tried to feed the ball to Thornton, but incomplete.
4th and 4. Bradshaw going back, and that turf gets a little sticky. Obviously, he has that ankle taped quite heavily. Just hooked a toe, and that's something you do quite often on the artificial turf. And lost his balance, thought he did not have much time, and threw it almost from a knee.
4th and 4. The Steelers go for it. Hawthorne. I believe he has the first down. It's going to be very close. Down to the 27-yard line. Seemingly calm, cool, collected Chuck Knoll on the sidelines as rookie Greg Hawthorne gets the ball to the 27-yard line.
There
and a first down, Pittsburgh.
Down. I think his exterior may belie some of the churning going on in his stomach. A very smart call here. Obviously, passing situation. Bradshaw calls the run. They get some excellent blocking over there from Rocky Blyer and Tom Dornbrook. And then Greg Hawthorne shows why they drafted him #1. Gets the first down.
The Steeler drive continues. We're late in the third quarter as Blyer up the middle again for 5 or 6. Blyer doing an excellent job in relief, and once again, as we've talked about it the last couple of weeks, the Pittsburgh Steeler depth displayed and how much talent they have all the way down to that 45th man.
Blyer, of course, able to play both the halfback and fullback positions, now really playing in place of Franco Harris.
Harris with ice on the ankle. They do not know how serious the injury is. Up the middle, Blyer, and he's close and does have another first down, I believe, to the 20. Make that down to about the 16-yard line before Bob Pollard, 82 of Weber State, and Niels of Minnesota can make the tackle. Here
Rocky Blyer, a very nice shot of him as he accelerates up in there. He got some great blocking on the right side over there. Just blew that St. Louis defense right off of the ball for him, and he knew what to do with it.
And an impressive drive, Merlin. Down to 30 seconds left in the third quarter. Started back at the Pittsburgh 20. The Steelers trail 21-7. Pass was short as Stallworth, angling over the middle, was open, but a little too low. And Bradshaw again playing on that injured ankle, and that may be throwing off his throwing motion a touch.
His timing is off. Another thing about this drive that is perhaps interesting is the fact that they have run the ball effectively down the field, and that's something they really desperately wanted to do today. And I'm sure they're pleased about that, but right now they'd be a lot more pleased if they could get a touchdown on the board.
This is the 16th play of the drive. Look at that. The Bears go ahead at Dallas 20-17 in the fourth quarter. Bears are 2-0. Hawthorne stopped at the 14-yard line. It'll be second, like that, third down and 8. Niels, Green, Arneson all in on the tackle for St. Louis. Clock running, 2 seconds, 1 second. That'll be the last play of the third quarter. 15 minutes to go. Classic day in St. Louis. The Arches leaving their pattern on the carpet at Busch Stadium as we go to the fourth quarter. Dick Enberg with Merlin Olsen. A 3rd and 8 for Pittsburgh at the Cardinal 14. Steelers are only 3 of 12 on third down. In trouble. And interference is called against 37, Ken Green of the St. Louis Cardinals. As Bradshaw hit as he delivered the ball by John Zook. Got the ball there, and Green a bit too eager in his coverage.
We talked about the pressure that the Cardinals have been applying. You see Zook around the end and in and hits Bradshaw. The ball just kind of flies out of his hand, and you saw in the corner of your picture right there the interference on Lynn Swan. Tagged him there, and of course the ball flapped away and almost intercepted, but it's all for naught as the interference call is made.
So first and goal for Pittsburgh at the St. Louis 4-yard line. They trail the Cardinals as they have throughout the day, 21-7. It was 6-0 St. Louis, missed the extra point, and 9-0 for Bud Wilkinson's Cardinals. Bradshaw to Stallworth made it 9-7 into the first quarter. Halftime it was 15-7 St. Louis, and 2 field goals in the second half have made it 21-7. Up the middle, Blyer, touchdown Pittsburgh. As Blyer on almost every carry got 5 yards or more on that long drive of some 20 plays. 20 plays for the Steelers to go 80 yards in the score.
Watch the flanker coming in motion to the inside. Ducks inside and helps to trap, open a hole inside. It's Randy Grossman helping to block inside. I'll tell you, Pittsburgh can hit you with more kinds of plays and more different types of traps than anybody in football. And of course, Blyer took advantage of the hole, big hole, made it into the end zone.
Important extra point, and Barr zeroes it right down the middle, and the Steelers are within a touchdown and an extra point. They've scored in the first 8 seconds of the fourth quarter, and we've got ourselves a ball game. Cardinals 21, Steelers 14. As Barr kicks it off. Short, very short. Willard Harrell. Now lineman takes it right out of his grasp. That's Bearfield, John Bearfield, the linebacker, out to the 35. He's to the 38-yard line. John Bearfield, a good return, tackled by J.T. Thomas. NBC.
Should be great for everyone, and Laura falls in love on Little House on the Prairie tomorrow night. A lot of Little House viewers like to look in and see about that. Marvelous story, good script.
Theodis Brown hemmed in on the sidelines, unable to advance, as John Banaszak, 76, who's played a big game for the Steelers at their defensive right-hand position, made the key play along with Lambert.
You see Jack Lambert sliding, getting off the block quickly, accelerating. What a tremendous player he is. We haven't heard as many calls as usual on Lambert's number for the day, which would indicate some good blocking on the inside from St. Louis.
Robin Cole, 56, also part of that last tackle. Incomplete. Hart trying to hit Theodis Brown, and he was well covered by Lambert. Probably just as well that ball was incomplete. Had Brown caught it, undoubtedly would have been tackled for a loss. So it's 3rd down and 10. They're now in the 4th quarter in the Coliseum in Los Angeles after Pat Hayden hit Terry Nelson 11-yard touchdown throw to make it 21-10 Rams.
As we're talking about schedules, again, a reminder that you can stay tuned and watch Bob Hope on the road to China. George Finkel, our producer, made a trip to China, and we're going to have some Sports World specials, gymnastics, a couple of other things out of that trip. I'm looking forward to seeing those, too.
Yes, indeed. A great experience. They came back with some great film and tape. Hart gets away, and then 84, Dave Steve can't make the reception, although he felt that he had some hands on him.
Flexible and not mobile, but watch him here as he does. He gets away from Beasley with a nice little shuffle there, steps back in, gets it over the top of Joe Green, and that was just a lucky play on the part of Donnie Shell. Had his back to the ball and had his hand in exactly the right place. Did not know where it was.
Now Steve Little to kick to the Steelers. Smith back at his own 26-yard line. Toward the sidelines. Oh, takes a Cardinal bounce. Smith, nice move at the 20, 25, 30, 40. He's all the way to the 49-yard line of St. Louis. Dave Steve makes the tackle and raises the ire of some of the Steeler blockers.
Steve, an unlikely special teamer as a wide receiver, and just a great move by Smith. Everybody kind of bunched up on him, and he just showed him some heels and some speed as he went out. We do have a flag down on this field. You see Steve adding a little extra to the tackle there, and J.T. Thomas said, hey, you don't do that to our guys.
But a flag against the Steelers blocking prior to that tackle is going to take the ball back to the Pittsburgh, go around the 25-yard line.
It's a big 15-yarder, too. We've had some very costly penalties today. That one in particular is costly.
Personal foul. Low block. Number 56 on the run back. First down.
Robin Cole blocking below the waist. Chuck Noll not happy with that. He had good field position in Cardinal territory. Instead has to start at the Pittsburgh 23. Bradshaw trailing by 7. Feeds it out to Stallworth. He's in trouble. Look at him. Breaks 3 tackles. Still on his feet. And another man, Green. 53, Steve Niels finally corrals Stallworth. What a run, despite the fact that he lost 5 yards. He did an incredible job not losing more.
Stallworth looks, sees too many white shirts, figures I'll go the other way. Gets into traffic, gets turned around. I think doesn't know where he is. Said, I'm going to go back the way I was designed to go. I think desperation is driving him here as he breaks up the sideline. We do have a Steeler player still down on the sideline. Stallworth himself after that run. Let's hope he's not hurt.
Niels was the 6th man to have a hand on Stallworth before he was tackled. They attend to the brilliant wide receiver from Alabama A&M, so we're going to take a break. 13 minutes left in St. Louis, where the Cardinals have a 7-point lead. Dick Enberg with Merlin Olsen, Busch Stadium, St. Louis. 4th quarter, 13 minutes remaining in the game. The Steelers trailing the Cardinals 21-14. Bradshaw has it 2nd down and 15 at his own 18-yard line. Greg Hawthorne, the rookie, 20, 25, and that's all. Stallworth suffered leg cramps in that long, twisting sideline-to-sideline run. He's okay. He'll return next Sunday on NBC. 4th week of the season, and they feature some outstanding games here on NBC beginning at 12:30 Eastern Time. San Diego at New England. Houston, Cincinnati. Colts will be Pittsburgh's opponent at Three River Stadium. And Jets at Buffalo. Oakland, Kansas City, the 2 o'clock game after 1:30 NFL 79. Seattle at Denver in the late game. Stallworth back in there. He's wide left. Swan to the right. 3rd down 8. Looking for Grossman. Incomplete at the 40. Stone coming up from behind 23. And he was also covered by Roy Green, 25, the 5th defensive back for the Cardinals. And Pittsburgh will have to kick it away. Seattle, looking for its first win of the season, has a 10-point lead. They lead the Raiders 20-10. 4th quarter. Rams build their lead to 24-10 in the 4th quarter. Crowd cheers the Cardinal defense as Bradshaw slowly off the field. Colquitt averaging 42.5 on 4 kicks today. Beautiful high kick. Carroll, fair catch. St. Louis has it at the Cardinal 32-yard line. Timeout. 12:28 left in the game. Bradshaw will have more chances, but his Steelers trail by 7. They average well over 200 tops in the NFL. Hart. Down he goes at the 23-yard line. 2nd sack for the Steelers. Beasley 65, 67 done, along with Banaszak 76. Cardinals, who allowed Hart to be sacked only 22 times all last year, 2 today.
Certainly not what they'd like, although we have to say that they've got to be suffering from coordination problems, having just lost Dan Deerdorf. Joe Bostic is in there. Bostic has really never started and has not played much, so they're trying to adjust to problems there for sure.
Bostic 71, the rookie from Clemson at right tackle. 8-yard loss, 2nd down 18. Draw play, Theotis Brown. And Lambert able to reach out and grab him by the back of the jersey and drag him down at the 31-yard line. Almost the yardage they lost on 1st down. It's 3rd and 11. Final score. San Diego Chargers remain unbeaten as they beat Buffalo 27-19.
Set the stage for that Buffalo-New England game, or that New England-San Diego game next week.
Looks as if we might be up there. Beautiful New England. Have to check your scouts there at the embassy to see what reports they have for you. 3rd and 11 for Hart. Down the middle. Incomplete. And again, Donnie Shell hawking Dave Stieff at the 45-yard line. Joe Green putting pressure on Hart. So the Cardinals give up the ball and plenty of time. 11:07 left.
Purely an experienced play that would not have been made by a young man.
That's really an interesting aspect of this game, so often lost by fans who are watching the ball. Steve Little hits a good one. Jim Smith at his own 23. 25. Outside again. 30, 35, 40, 50. Might go all the way. Oh, he ran into his own man and goes down at the 39-yard line when it appeared that he was going to get a touchdown because Little, the only man left, and Anderson had him well covered. He was going to block him. J.T. Thomas, the man who stopped Smith. There it is, a collision that may have cost the Steelers a tying touchdown. Nevertheless, they have it at the St. Louis 39, and we'll be right back. Now we're going to stay right here with the Steelers threatening to tie the game, and they've had a couple of excellent kick returns by Smith. One called back by penalty, but not that one.
And of course, one of the touchdowns that the Cardinals put on the board, and some of the points were directly attributable to a great punt return on their part. So we have seen some tremendous special team play today.
Rocky Bleier again. Almost 10 yards before he's dropped at the 30-yard line of St. Louis. And Bleier, who didn't play but more than a down or two the first half, has been the running star of this second half with the entry to Franco Harris.
What we're seeing now, Dick, is the pattern of a very experienced and very relaxed professional team. We said earlier that Pittsburgh was not going to panic. They were confident that they were going to win this game, and they're right now working on their 7-pointer.
Blyer again. First down, Pittsburgh. Greg Hawthorne, ball carrier. 10 minutes remaining. Ball now at the 25 and a first down, Pittsburgh. 9 minutes and 52 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. The world champion Steelers trailing the Cardinals 21-14, but Pittsburgh driving. Ball at the St. Louis 24. Bradshaw on a flea flicker going for Stallworth. Well covered by Roger Worley. And also in the play was Ken Stone. And the Cardinals felt that it was Stallworth who pushed off.
We saw that same play defeat the Cleveland Browns last year, only to the other side of the line and thrown eventually to Cunningham. It looked to me that Stallworth was looking for the interference call. Figured he was going to do a little bumping down there. The officials right on top of it did not give him the benefit of the call. Bradshaw's got a 2nd and 10.
Cardinals forcing many turnovers today, but for them, so often only got the 3 points out of those turnovers. Missed 2 extra points, which could be crucial, and lead 21-14. Bradshaw injured in the first half, played the entire second half. Blyer gets 3 down to about the 21-yard line, where it'll be 3rd and 7 for Pittsburgh. Mike Dawson with a tackle, number 73 for the Cardinals.
Gets curious down here. Are we in 3 down or 4 down territory? Chuck Noll earlier going on 4th down, not concerned about getting 3 points. You've got to wonder here if he gets part of this or gets down to a 4th down. Would he go for it or would he kick the field goal?
Bradshaw trying to make that decision an easy one. Steelers have made good only 3 times out of 14 third down conversions. Blyer to the 10, to the 5. Rocky Blyer does it again. 1st and goal, Pittsburgh.
Well, you've got some people that you learn to lean on in the crunching situations and the clutch situations. Bradshaw knows where his people are, and there's one of them right there, Rocky Blyer. Blyer just gives a little move right there, gets away from Carney, and then he buys the extra yards just with sheer determination. Down inside the 5, the power squadron comes in, and Pittsburgh has got its sights set on the goal line.
Interesting replay, gentlemen. George Finkel, our producer, Ted Nathanson, our director. Blyer, number 20, caught that ball, and number 20, the yard line was right there at his feet. A perfect match. 1st and goal at the 5. Bradshaw for Cunningham. Touchdown! Benny Cunningham, his first touchdown of the season, and Bradshaw patiently waited for Cunningham to find the slot.
Here's your chance to be a part of that pass pattern as Bradshaw throws a rather unexpected call. Benny Cunningham, of course, back in the lineup and a favorite target for a long time. But Bradshaw got enough time and gave him a little wave and said, move left, I'll get it to you there. Flipped it to him for the point.
Try for a point is good, and the Steelers on Barr's point after have tied the game. 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns by Terry Bradshaw. Steelers have made it even at 21. Rocky Blyer's running. Terry Bradshaw, a couple of key passes, and it's even at 21 with 8 minutes left. Barr kicks it off, one of his better kicks today. Taken at the 5 by Roy Green, the rookie, to the 20 to 25. Spins out to the 29, where the hit is made by Jim Smith, the very punt return specialist who put the Steelers in excellent position for that last score. And now the crowd, quiet here in the second half in St. Louis, trying to spur on their beloved Cardinals. A sellout of 50,460 at Busch Stadium today.
The last 2 offensive series have just gone 3 plays and out for the Cardinals. Right now, they need to get something going, move down the field, get some points on the board.
2 missed extra points. The reason why the Cardinals are not in the lead. Hart gives it to Anderson. Anderson is stopped cold again. He got to the 31, a gain of 2. And Otis Anderson, who came into this game with 302 yards rushing in his first 2 pro games, has been held well in check, as you can see. Just over 2 yards per carry for Anderson.
Dick, you mentioned the 2 extra points. Kicking has really been a problem for the Cardinals in this young season. In the first game against Dallas, a field goal by Septien hit the upright and bounced in, and a late try of 60 yards by Wood came just short of giving them a victory in that opening game.
That was a Dallas 22-21 win. Hart, good play action fake. Hits the Otis Brown. Boy, did he turn upfield and has a first down at the 43. And Jim Hart, that's his 2,000th career completion, the 10th man in NFL history. He's the most successful of all the active NFL quarterbacks, has the most completions, most yards, everything but the most touchdowns. 2,000 for Hart. That's like joining that 3,000 hit club, and it was on this very carpet just a week ago Sunday. Lou Brock honored for his 3,000 hits.
Well, what's that song? Nobody does it better. Hart's been doing it that way for a long while, and he hit it perfectly, a short one, but for the first down. Let's see what he does here.
Gives it right back to Brown, and he's near midfield before he's hooked down by the Steeler defense near the 50-yard line, where it'll be second down and a long 3.
On that last play, it's hard for a quarterback to keep an eye on all his receivers, but Tilley popped into the open, and had Hart been able to see him before he unloaded it, he might have had a touchdown instead of that first down.
The Otis Brown, number 33, who had carried 4 times for just 6 yards. As you see Dallas regaining the lead. It's been the big rusher for the Cardinals today, 69 yards to lead St. Louis. Give it to Anderson. And he gains a yard at best, as the Steelers would not allow him to make the move successfully. They had him shut off inside and outside. Well, that Banaszak has played a game. 6'3" and 244. 28 years old, replacing Dwight White on that right defensive side.
Banaszak's been a Tiger, but he also had the advantage of great pursuit from the inside. Robin Cole to keep the outside closed, and of course the great pursuit keeps the cutback down so that Anderson could not drive back inside for the yardage.
Gary Dunn goes out. Dennis Winston, a 4th linebacker, is in on 4th. Picked a 3rd and 3. Blitz is on. And down goes Hart at the 42-yard line. The Steelers sending almost everyone. 3rd sack for the Steelers. Hart had been dumped only twice in the first 2 games.
First man to him, 23, Mike Wagner, the safety, as they blitzed not only linebackers but the safety as well. Wagner made him duck, and then they came in and collected him with a bunch of other Steelers. That's tremendous pressure, and applied so quickly that Hart had no chance to get that ball off.
Well, no question, the momentum has turned in favor of the Super Bowl champs. They have 2 touchdowns in this 4th quarter. The defense living up to its moniker, the Steel Curtain. And now they're going to get the ball back with 5 minutes left in the game. Little has kicked well. Smith has returned well, and that's going to be delay of game for the 2nd time that's happened to St. Louis in punt formation.
It appeared that they did that deliberately. I don't know why they're doing that. Maybe they feel that they want to get a full kick from Little, but
Number 12,
questionable in my mind as to what advantage you gain at that point on the field. Certainly Little's a strong-legged kicker, but I don't know if he can kick it all the way into the end zone from there.
Al Smith doesn't think so. He's on the 28-yard line. Tie game, 5 minutes left. Just a fair kick. Smith fumbles, and who's got it? Did the Cardinals beat Smith to the ball? No. Jim Smith able to get it back. What's that, the 4th Pittsburgh fumble? They recovered themselves?
Somebody's got to wonder. I'm sure Chuck Noll is going to want to examine those footballs and see if somebody's putting Vaseline or some slick substance on them. They have really had their trouble with that football today.
That's their 6th fumble, and they've recovered 4 of them. Nevertheless, the Steelers have given up the ball 4 times on turnovers. St. Louis only 1. But where it counts now, 5 minutes left. Steelers have the ball, and they're tied in St. Louis. Pretty good lick and held on to that football.
That ball did not have the customary zip of a Bradshaw pass, but Stallworth just stayed right with it, and as you said, absorbed the shot in the back and would not cough it up. But the ball is right on target, right between 2 defenders. Well, you can't thread the needle any finer than that. Stallworth, who's been banged around pretty good today, has got them just almost to the 50-yard line.
That's the 5th catch for Stallworth to lead the Steelers. Blyer, that's about the shortest run he's had today. Only a couple of yards to the 49 of St. Louis, where it'll be 2nd down and 8 Pittsburgh. 4:10 remaining in the game. Cardinals led 6-0, then 9-0 before the Steelers scored and kicked their extra point to make it 9-7. 15-7 with a touchdown by St. Louis in the second quarter, but they missed another extra point. 2 field goals in the third quarter made it 21-7 St. Louis, but Bradshaw's led his team to 2 touchdowns and a tie here in the fourth quarter. Blyer again to the 45-yard line. You can see what a heady runner Blyer is. He just stayed behind those big blockers and just hoped something might open. He really was ready with his feet to move right, left, or go straight ahead.
Well, it certainly isn't a foot race out there. Blyer is not nearly as quick as many of the linemen on this field, but he knows how to run, he knows how to block, he knows when to use his speed, how to use his blockers, and has certainly been, maybe with the exception of Theodis Brown, the most effective back on the field today.
3rd down and 4. Big play. And Bradshaw's going to throw for it. Wide open is Blyer. 30, 25. All the way to the 18-yard line goes Rocky Blyer. He has been the Steeler hero in this second half. 27 yards and a first down, and the Steelers are deep in St. Louis territory.
Maybe he heard that we didn't put his name up as one of the game breakers before the show, and he's out to make us look bad. And he certainly makes the Steelers look good here as he accepts that pass and gets a bunch of extra yardage in the process. Puts them in great position inside field goal range. They'd prefer the 7 points if they can get it.
Time running out toward that 2-minute warning. First down at the 17. Play action fake. Throwing for Swan. Out of bounds, out of the end zone, and that stops the clock with 2:16 left. And Bradshaw just did get that ball off. You saw Mark Arneson pat Terry in the back as he helped him up. Arneson coming in on the blind side. So the Steelers showing their championship fiber. Outplayed much of this game, but in the fourth quarter it's almost like a totally different contest.
And showing their great confidence. There's a man who wants desperately to get it in the air and for 3 points if he has to.
The Wonderful World of Disney, Absent-Minded Professor will be seen immediately following the conclusion of our football coverage over most of these NBC stations on the West Coast and most Mountain Time Zone stations. Wonderful World of Disney will be seen at its regular time, so stay tuned. 2nd and 10 play. Hawthorne. He takes quite a hit from 56. Carney may have fumbled, but we'll see if it's after the whistle.
Yeah.
Whistle had blown it dead.
Ball is bouncing loose again. Dick, let's go back a little bit. I think we talked about the fact that it looked like there was no panic on the other side of the line. 14 points down. Chuck Noll still keeping his people in there, running the same things. What we were seeing really was a manifestation of the confidence of a champion and the fragile ego of a team that wants desperately to be a champion.
So the Steelers and Cardinals 2 minutes away from regulation's final gun. We'll be right back. Left number 12, Steve Little. His 2 missed extra points part of the story as we're tied at 21. Number 9, Matt Barr, anticipating possibly a field goal that would give the Steelers the lead. 2 minutes remaining here at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. The Steelers have it 3rd down, 5 at the Cardinal 12. Blyer again. All the way to the 3-yard line goes Rocky Blyer. 1st and goal, Pittsburgh. And Blyer has been outstanding. He's at about 70 yards rushing, all in the second half.
Little conference on the sideline and a very unexpected play. A quick trap right up the middle. You see the defensive tackle being trapped and out of the play, and Blyer exploded up through there. Got the yardage, got them down very close to the touchdown. Boy, if they can eat a little more of that clock and get the points, this game is out of reach for the St. Louis Cardinals.
With Franco Harris injured, an injured ankle, Rocky Blyer has taken charge. 1st and goal at the 3, and the clock now down to 1 minute 20 seconds left. Hawthorne greeted rudely for a yard loss. It'll be 2nd and goal at the 4. Now the Steelers are in an obvious excellent position. They have a tie game. They have the ball. They're on the Cardinal 4, and they can let the clock run. There it goes. It's under 1 minute now. 58-57. The Cardinals, even at best, may not get the ball back.
But we have to go back and look at those 2 kicks from about the same range that were missed by the Cardinals and say that they have not yet kicked this field goal. If it's going to indeed be a field goal, that's going to take it out of overtime.
That's right. 40 seconds left. 2nd and goal. Hawthorne outside. Hauled down at the 5 as 45 Perry Smith came up from the corner, and then Eric Williams, 55, finished off the play. 28 seconds, 27 seconds left. And now it'll be the Steelers who will call time with 25 seconds remaining. 3rd and goal at the 5. The game in the balance. Here in St. Louis, Steelers 21, Cardinals 21. We'll be right back.
But life goes on.
Miami knocking off Minnesota. Green Bay. Big NFC Central game. And there's Houston over Kansas City. Field goal there.
Now, Jets win it. First of the year. Minnesota. Tampa Bay, like Miami, 3-0. The Floridians are 6-0 this year. Houston rallies to beat Kansas City after the loss at Pittsburgh last week. Now 4th quarter, Seattle leads by 10 over Oakland. Final, Dallas beats the Bears 24-20. Chicago's first loss, and they gave Dallas all they wanted. Rams lead late on that one in Los Angeles. And here it is with 17 seconds, 16. Cardinals now will call time. As the Steelers wisely were going to let that clock run right down to 2 seconds before they're going to kick.
Well, and the Cardinals obviously want to put a little more pressure on Matt Barr. We saw that done to him in their first game. Called the timeout. He calmly got up and punched it through. So he has good nerves for this kind of thing.
Meanwhile, Bud Wilkinson in a tough spot. Should the kick be good, then he has so little time to generate anything. There may be a time for a play or two. I want to thank Tom Redman, Murray Kleinfeld, our player identification today, Joe Costanza, statistics. 16 seconds left, a 21 tie. And the Steelers have come from behind 21-7 with 2 4th quarter touchdowns. And now it's up to the toe, or the instep, if you will, of Matt Barr.
Got to feel that there are seconds down there that have got to be a minute long. The waiting is sometimes the most painful part of the game. Now they're up to the line, and I'm sure great relief for Matt Barr. He said, now let's get it done.
20-yard field goal to possibly win it. It's good. The young rookie from Penn State slams it home, and Pittsburgh, with 13 seconds left in the game, leads for the very first time.
Kickers have to have a little ice water in their veins. Watch him here. Matt Barr simply says, good. That's my job. And he comes off of there, and everybody else goes crazy.
So Barr, who missed one from 35 yards, connects from 20. And the Steelers, with 17 points in the 4th quarter, have the lead. And now it's a kickoff and maybe time for one heart desperation pass. Executive producer of NBC's football is Don Ohlmeyer. Our coordinating producer today, Ted Nathanson. Telecast of this game from St. Louis has been produced by George Finkel, directed by Ted Nathanson. Technical director was Horace Ruiz, and our associate director, Randy Wands.
Perhaps a shame, Dick, that we can't tell how many instead of just how, as the golfers would say, because certainly St. Louis has had 2 great games against tough opponents, and both go into the loss column. A shame, perhaps, that there can't be a notation there. Gave Dallas all they can handle. Gave Pittsburgh all they can handle.
That's right. 22-21 losers to Dallas, and They trail 24-21. Here comes Roy Green, the rookie. As he doesn't need to step out of bounds because as soon as a tackle is made, the clock stops anyway. But 10 seconds, all that remained for St. Louis. It was a glorious day for the most part, not only weather-wise, but for the football Cardinals. Until the fourth quarter, they led 21-7. They had to settle for field goals a couple of times down deep. They missed a couple of extra points, and that allowed the Steelers to stay close enough for Pittsburgh to turn the game around in this fourth quarter.
Certainly have to feel a little bit sorry for Bud Wilkinson and his troops. Look across the sideline. There's got to be concern for the injuries today on the Pittsburgh sideline. Corson, Franco Harris, Bradshaw able to come back.
Time called by the Steelers, perhaps in a defensive alignment that they didn't like. Donnie Shell goes to the sidelines to talk with George Perlis, the assistant head coach. They had too many men on the field. They had 12. That's pretty good defense. Steelers are tough enough with 11.
They certainly are. Certainly are. Well, they showed us the class of a champion today. We'd have to certainly give them that. They didn't lose their cool. They stayed with it. Of course, I think they all got a big boost when Bradshaw was able to come back out after giving us that scare at the half and come back out and play. And not only play, but play effectively. Did not have the zip, did not quite have the same footwork as he had in the earlier part of the game, but certainly showed us his courage. And, of course, delivered a couple of touchdowns and a drive that put them up on the board with that final field goal that will give them the margin of victory in this game, apparently.
And Chuck Noll on the sidelines, a man of almost a single expression. He shows so little emotion. He carries confidence in the way he leads this team. And that's the kind of victory that coaches go home and celebrate.
He did say one thing. He said playing against a team that has not played well is the toughest of coaching assignments.
10 seconds left for Hart. Anderson trying to give him running room, but Anderson just goes out of bounds at the 21-yard line. Cardinals have a couple of timeouts left, so that's perhaps a rookie mistake. There, you might as well take your chances, do the best you can. Although Anderson may have felt, well, at least he goes out of bounds, gives Hart a chance for one desperation pass, and that's about where the Cardinal hopes lie, in desperation.
Well, there's certainly a tremendous amount of territory, just under 80 yards from the 20 to the Pittsburgh end zone, and about 11 black-shirted Steelers who are going to give them all the yards they want this side of that goal line. On the board.
Now for the impossible. Hart down to Gray. Incomplete, and that's the ball game as Gray unable to latch onto the football. The Pittsburgh Steelers come from behind, trailing 21-7, playing in the second half with an injured quarterback, Terry Bradshaw. They rally for 2 touchdowns and a winning field goal and beat the Cardinals 24-21. The Steelers remain unbeaten. That ties their all-time record.
Promotional fee has been paid to NBC by United Airlines. United's building the largest airline in the world around you. Fly the friendly skies.
Bud Wilkinson, Chuck Noll with a handshake. Their team's a fine display, and there's the admiration, the head coach to Terry Bradshaw. 11 straight wins now for the Steelers. That matches their all-time record. The Cardinals obviously a very fine team to be reckoned with this year. Stay tuned for the wonderful world of Disney. The Absent-Minded Professor, most of these stations on the West Coast and Mountain Time Zone stations, it'll be seen at its regular time.